I can't really say what I want to say to open the show today. I despite what Dave Rickard said the other day, what I want to say probably would get us fined and maybe lose our license. Welcome in, Ben and Woods, 97.3 The Fan. If you're just tuning in right now and you haven't been on social media, it looks like Roki Watch is over, at least for the San Diego Padres, and we will explain in a moment. I'm Woodsy. That's Paul Reindl, the executive producer. Good morning, Paulie.
How are you?
I'm fantastic, buddy. Ben Higgins, your friendly neighborhood sports anchor, joins us as well. Hello, Benjamin.
Yeah, good morning. Usually Friday is the time for a joy and happiness when we get our show started, but feeling a pall hanging over this room. And
a pall. A cast a pall.
A pall.
Yeah,
like
a pall.
Dark cloud hanging
Paul,
over
Paul.
Paul, not you, Paul.
Oh,
P-A-L-L. You couldn't have a funnier, better show planned than we have planned. I was giddy about 12 minutes ago. Giddy. I got material for days that was making me laugh so hard.
Save it because we'll need to get to it at some point to lighten the mood.
makes me just want to go la 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 la.
Yeah. La, 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 la. I didn't see anything.
Let me say that nothing has been officially announced from Roki Sasaki, his team, or any of the finalists involved. But as we have been telling you throughout this entire process, there are signs that you're going to be able to look for that should indicate with a fairly high degree of certainty which teams he is not going to. And the biggest one of those signs would be going ahead and spending your international bonus pool money on other people.
Yeah.
Because you know that, Roki Sasaki will not be signing with your team. And just in the last 10 minutes, there's been multiple reports and, that the Padres are now pivoting today from Francis Romero, who we talked about earlier in this week, covers Caribbean prospects internationally, a member of the Baseball Writers Association of America, tweeted, hearing from multiple sources, the Padres are out. In Roki Sasaki, they'll begin their international signings of Juan de la Cruz and Carlos Alvarez in the next few hours. He says another big guy probably going to sign tomorrow. Will Salmon from The Athletic echoing the same thing. International news, left-handed pitcher Carlos Alvarez will sign with the Padres, league sources said. Alvarez was originally committed to the Padres, but like some other prominent prospects, he pursued other opportunities while teams tried to figure out the international budgets for Roki Sasaki. It's not a final, last nail in the coffin, but it would seem that it would indicate that the Padres know that money now needs to be allocated elsewhere because it is not going to Roki Sasaki. I wish I had better news, but this is how I am reading this situation, and I'm not sure that there's a lot of other ways that you can read this situation unless they are wrong or someone changes their mind in the last minute, which is obviously always in the realm of possibility. This is a really bad sign for the Roki Sasaki sweepstakes.
Yeah, no question. At least for the San Diego Padres. That means the Dodgers and Blue Jays are still in it. I think our only hope is that he decides to sign with the Blue Jays.
Toronto is a beautiful country.
It's gorgeous.
I've heard nothing but good things
it
about
is
Toronto
gorgeous.
and the entire country of Canada.
Nice people, the whole thing, maple syrup, all of it. It's great. My gut has been, and it hasn't really changed. My gut has been he was going to be a Los Angeles Dodger. Said it over and over and over. Certainly doesn't lessen the blow. I feel like I have to get it out of my system and just get it out. But I can't do it on the air.
Should we turn our mics off?
Yeah, turn the mic. Let me just
scream?
get one out. Let me get a good one out. Ready? That might have cut through.
It may have been loud enough.
It was ringing.
Microphone's off. It could have been heard outside of the building.
I had to get that out. I feel better. I feel a little better. Look, there's no sugarcoating this. There's no bright siding this. This is second prize, set of steak knives. That's what this is. First prize, Cadillac Eldorado. Second prize, set of steak knives. Third prize is you're fired. Actually, we just won third prize. We're fired. So there's no sugarcoating.
Maybe Roki's doing the Shohei thing and saying, hey, I don't want you to not sign all the other guys. I'll take the minimum.
The minimum.
You can defer my money. I want you to bring as many good players in with me as possible. But
sweet kid.
That doesn't seem that would be the case in this situation.
This happened at like 9:50 instead of 6. Like I have I have so much good stuff to do today.
All we do is bitch for years.
We bitch
about news breaking right after our show.
I just want good news.
We want the bad news to break after the show.
Yeah.
Not 5 minutes before.
Now I'm ready. I'm ready and equipped for all of your overreactions, and I have them too. So we can get into the overreactions. The overreactions, I've already seen it. All right, just bang it. Trade cease, trade arise, trade king. Anybody that can get you value, and let's just retool. Those. I hate it. I hate it. I don't want that to happen. But I see your points. I'm not gonna say you're an idiot and you're crazy. It really feels like all of the energy and time was expended to get Roki Sasaki, and we did not close him. It's a bummer.
It would also probably be premature to start laying blame, on AJ Preller or even the ownership drama. We have no idea at this point what Roki Sasaki's thought process is and, why he's making the decisions he is. Maybe he will shed some light on that. Maybe he will not.
Maybe we'll never know.
We may never know exactly, what was the deciding factor when, depending on what he ends up saying. But it would be premature to then, just start throwing everyone under the bus at this point. It was always a heated competition. Every team was interested in Roki Sasaki. The Padres, I would say, dedicated more of their resources to this than anyone. And just like with Shohei Ohtani, as hard as they tried, it does feel like they ended up in second place for Shohei Ohtani, and
set of steak knives.
Perhaps they ended up in second place for Roki Sasaki.
Set of steak knives. We have a lot of steak knives. If we had some in the studio, I would probably use them to slit my own throat right now because I'm so bummed and mad. But these are legit sources. Obviously, we'll keep you guys updated as we hear or see anything. But I can't brightside it. It's a bummer. It's a loss. It's a kick in the nuts. There's no question. I can't come in here in good conscience and be like, "Oh, we still got a chance." That he's not Superman by any stretch. He can only pitch every sixth day, but it certainly takes some juice out of the offseason right now. And a lot of guys are off the board. There's still some guys left you mentioned yesterday, but I don't know if we have any money to sign them. I have no idea.
It'll be interesting to see if and how the Padres respond. To this bad news, because we talked about it yesterday. This was the one way you could still feel like you could still have a winning offseason.
I said it yesterday when I was doing my streaming project with my buddy Jake and John Howard over at Channel 8. I said, Roki saves the offseason. I mean, he really does. Like, you get Roki Sasaki, that's a dub. I saw a recent grade for the Padres offseason so far was an F. Of course it is. It's an F. Of course it's an F. They haven't done anything.
It's a zero.
What's worse is an incomplete worse than an F. Like, you haven't done anything.
Right. But but if you got Roki, no, it's definitely a B plus if you had gotten Roki Sasaki, and now you're really going to have to figure it out. And I don't know what they're going to do. I don't know what they're going to pivot to. Look. There's a part of me as a human being I'm kind of bummed for AJ. I know how much if this is in fact true. Again, it's just at this point just reported. But yeah, I know he put a lot of time and effort into this. But if it doesn't work, it doesn't work.
And again, just to kind of explain how this works, I'm sure that this is not coming from inside the Padres organization or inside the Roki Sasaki camp, but the Padres have obviously been in contact with the families of these prospects, some of them for years in advance of the international window. And in recent weeks, they've said, hey, we're going to have to wait on Roki Sasaki's decision. If he doesn't sign, obviously we'll move quickly, and we would like to bring you into the organization. And it sounds as though that they have made plans. They got to bring him somewhere to sign a contract, make plans for that. And what I read this as, families have been told, hey, we got a meeting later today. You're going to come in. You're going to sign your contract. Everything is as we had planned it before. And the families are then telling reporters like Francis Romero, hey, we just got the news. We are going to sign today. It's great news for these kids. Great news for these, Dominican, Caribbean prospects who have been waiting and dreaming on this for their whole life. and they're joining the Padres, and this should be a celebratory day
Yeah,
for
it's
them.
tough for them, man.
But, for us, it's viewed as a major gut punch and a crush of our hopes and dreams for Roki Sasaki. But they're just celebrating good news that they got today and sharing it, obviously, probably with friends and family, and it's getting to a couple of reporters. But as again, you read... only way to really read that is that the Padres are moving on from their pursuit of Roki Sasaki because they've been told
you're out,
that they are not going to be signing him.
Yeah, it's a bummer, man. My heart breaks a little bit. There's no question. It's not how you want to start your Friday. It's not how you want to look at this offseason right now. And there's just no way to sugarcoat it. I can't do it. I can't look at myself in the mirror and be like, hey, we still got these guys, and yeah, absolutely, you still have those guys. But, especially if he ends up in L.A. I mean, it's like, it's funny. What are they going to, they're going to go from 112 wins to 117 now? Like, it's the rich getting richer. Even though this wasn't a money whip situation, whatever they presented, and we've been talking about it all week, their presentation is a very strong one. Without even knowing what it is, I can tell you one thing. It's a very strong presentation.
All right, we will follow this and any developments, obviously, over the course of the day here on 97.3 The Fan. Can we do something fun when we come back, though?
I don't think so.
Can I hear about your TV appearance yesterday, at least, with Jake, and how that went? And you talked about it yesterday. You're just gonna sit there and sulk for the next 3 hours and 47 minutes?
Yeah, I think so. But listen, you know what? When life hands you lemons, you try to make lemonade. Go YOLO it up this weekend. Go out to Sedano Ford. See my friend Manny Sedano, all right? Because their New Year's deals have been extended. Every 24 model must go. That's how it works, right? You got the 24s. You got to make room for the 25s. Great time to buy a car. I love the Ford brand. My grandfather worked there 40 years. As a proud veteran, Manny Sedano understands value. That's why I always recommend Sedano Ford. Right off the 8 in La Mesa, the deals are unbeatable. Listen to this lineup. Get the all-electric 24 Mustang Mach-E Select, just $89 a month. $89. Ready for an adventure? Jump into the 2024 Bronco Sport Big Ben, just $239. Step up to the 4x4 for just $50 more a month. Legendary power exists in the revolutionary F-150 Lightning. That's yours for just $199 a month. Inventory is moving fast at those prices, so the time is now at your veteran-owned Sedano Ford in La Mesa. Go in today. Let them know Woodsy sent you. The deals won't last. On approved credit, visit SedanoFord.com for more details.
Hamul Casino. Fun above all else.
I'd like to say we've put the bad news in the rearview mirror and we're all ready to move on in a positive fashion toward the weekend. But I don't think that process is gonna move quite so quickly for Padres fans.
I can feel it like marinating in my belly right now. You know, like just that marinating feeling. It's just sitting there like, you know, and you'll go through all of the different stages, and then you'll get to a point where you're like, we don't need that guy. Like, it happens. That's what happens when you get your hopes up, or even when you're semi-realistic about it. And bro, if you're up against the Dodgers with a player, you have to know there's a really good chance you're not going to be the one that he picks. You have to.
Yeah, I mean, I knew that as well. I put a lot of hopes in this one. For me, this was always going to be my.
This is your white whale, dude.
Oh man,
this is the one.
You know, I've been looking for a couple of years. Like if they could somehow land Roki Sasaki,
it's your Moby Dick.
A six years of control for a just all upside, no downside. Even if he doesn't pan out to be the huge star. You didn't give up hundreds of millions of dollars to sign him. There's no opportunity cost here.
You gave Woo Suk Go more money than this guy's going to get. You know what I mean? Like
if you're a 6:20 alarm and you're just waking up, the reporting is that the Padres are out in the Roki Sasaki sweepstakes. No winner declared yet. But Francis Romero from the Baseball Writers Association of America says the Padres are going to pivot, move on to some international signings in the next few hours. MLB Network has picked up on that. They are now talking about it. Saw John Morosi on the TV talking about the Padres being out based on this same reporting. And there really isn't a lot of wiggle room here. You know, I brought it up as well. You know, is it possible Roki Sasaki is just taking half of the bonus pool and like $3 million, and the Padres are saying, hey, we got a little leftover extra. Let's get these other guys signed. I guess anything is certainly possible. I don't know why Joel Wolf and his agent would say, yeah, no, we'll just give up $3 million when we don't have to.
That's crazy talk.
Clearly, other teams would have been prepared to give the whole bonus pool, so it would seem odd. But then again, Shohei Ohtani gave up a lot of money to defer and bring other players in, so I guess it's not unprecedented, and nothing has been officially announced from the Padres or Roki Sasaki's camp at this point. But it definitely feels like the Padres are pivoting to the other guys that they've been scouting for years, the 16-year-olds, and they're going to bring in a class. I'm sure that A.J. Preller is going to, at some point, talk highly about some of these guys that they signed, but it's always going to carry with that the tinge of why you have these guys, and it's because you didn't you didn't close the deal with Roki Sasaki.
Yeah, I mean, when these guys make the big leagues, Bo will be in high school. So, I mean, that's about right. Yeah, 16 years old. He's going to be 7 in a couple of weeks, right? So he'll be in high school when we see these guys. And I think, Padres fans are tired of waiting. They're tired of waiting, realizing last year was such a great shot, and not going out right now and saying, hey, man, look at all those games we won last year. Look how friggin' close we got. And then the offseason comes, and you've added Tyler Wade and Martín Maldonado yesterday. That's some news that broke yesterday. They added Martín Maldonado on a minor league deal, non-roster invite, yeah. I don't expect much from him. He is...
Offensively, why would you say that?
He's
because he hit 118 last year and is a 200 career hitter,
and then hit like 140 in the Dominican League, like in winter ball.
I mean,
it's you're not bringing him. If he's also not good defensively anymore. There was a time when he was really, really good.
If he can impart some wisdom to
correct.
Ethan Salas,
yeah, he's a mentor.
Then maybe
could that not be done in a text message? Without having to sign him?
It's a minor league deal.
Because nobody else is going to sign him. Can you write Ethan an email imparting some wisdom?
You want him special assistant
Yes.
You want him there at spring training. You have him there, he has a locker. He gets to sit there for hours. Yeah, I get that. But
signing Martín Maldonado and not getting Roki all within 12 hours?
Martín Maldonado was the primary catcher for a World Series winner 2 years ago.
3 years ago.
2.5.
2.5.
Yeah, 2022.
Yeah, so what?
Houston Astros.
His fan base, they wanted him gone so bad because he literally could not hit. He's top or bottom. What would you call this? The top 3 worst players in baseball, or
bottom
3 player in baseball? I don't know how to word it, but that's what he is. And that's what you got right now to help mentor Campy, which is fine. That's fine. And Brett Sullivan and
Ethan Salas.
Yeah.
I had a buddy text me last night. He goes, "Oh, really? He's not a Padres fan."
Yeah.
And I go, let's just say I hope he doesn't get a whole lot of action for the Padres.
If he's getting ABs.
Just a mentorship type thing.
Honestly, if it was Elias Diaz yesterday, I would be like, oh, cool. Right on. Hell yeah.
I would think, he'll never say it, but I would think A.J. Preller is also hoping Martín Maldonado doesn't see a lot of action with the Padres this year. That's not a good sign. He wants Luis Camposano to have a breakout type season, and for Ethan Salas to continue to develop and get to the big leagues by the end of the year. That's the plan at catcher right now for the San Diego Padres.
Okay.
It's really the only plan, unfortunately, at catcher for the Padres. It just puts a lot of hope in a guy in Camposano who's been inconsistent at best at the big leagues, and defensively, has not been up to snuff at this point. And, it accelerates very quickly the timeline on Ethan Salas, and we have no idea what his actual timeline to be ready to play in Major League Baseball is going to be. But
our boy Fan in the chat, he's going the other way, and I like it. It's refreshing. He said, everyone's acting like Roki's Jacob deGrom. Our core will smack him around. They very well may. There's no guarantee that Roki's going to be anything. Yeah, look, it's just the fact that if
Yamamoto was more of a bust, I'd feel a lot better.
Yeah.
Because that's the most recent star pitcher out of Japan over to the
The problem is if he ends up in L.A., you're like, oh, cool, so you guys finally caught a break with a guy 6 years for, $7 million or whatever.
And then in 6 years, they'll give him $1 billion and defer
90% of it. So listen, this is our lot in life right now. It's not ideal.
I do see some... Hey, the Padres' lack of spending could have hurt. You can't say that. The Mets were one of the first teams out in Roki Sasaki. They spend freely.
Yeah, but he didn't want to be on the East Coast.
Well, we don't know his motivations exactly.
Well, he didn't want to be in a giant market, allegedly. Where'd he go? Well, he hasn't gone anywhere yet.
Yeah,
he hasn't gone anywhere
yet. You can't really take anything Joel Wolf said totally seriously, because
if he goes to L.A.
or if he goes to Toronto.
But if Toronto, different media market. It's different.
Yes, but it's also East Coast. He said, I want to be closer to Japan, and you can't get farther from Japan in Major League Baseball than Toronto. So
It's also only, maybe one city, but the entire country of Canada are Blue
Yeah.
Jays fans.
Yeah.
And then you have the entire country of Japan as well. Like, that's going to be a media zoo.
Yeah. Sorry, Padres fans. I mean, look, we're here for you, Don't scream at us. We didn't do it. We wanted him as badly as you did.
It
if
is
not
tough.
more.
I don't think a whole lot of the listening fan base right now knows a whole lot about Roki Sasaki.
Yeah.
We don't know a whole lot about Roki Sasaki. We can only go off of what we read,
And what we were
we
told.
hear. Guys like Adam Jones who's like, oh yeah, I saw him when I was playing over there. He's nasty.
Nasty.
But we don't know how that translates.
Yeah.
Well, let's talk about something a little cheerier. Dying.
Yes, death. That's a perfect segue.
I would think so. Let's lighten the mood and talk about dying. And you don't want to die intestate. That means when you die without making your wishes known with a will, and then the state has to decide your legacy. Many of us have put this off for way too long, but finally you and I did something about it over our holiday break.
Exactly. Went to trustandwill.com and sat down and went through the process. And it was really, really simple. They walked you through it. I need somebody to kind of hold my hand through things like this. I don't understand a lot of things, when they start talking about trusts and the assets and who gets what and who watches your kids. If
I
something
do
happens.
understand a lot
and
of
you
things.
still
and
hadn't
I
done
still
it.
didn't understand a lot of this as well.
Yeah, so listen, don't be one of the don't be part of that statistic that 67% of Americans have not planned their estate after they pass away. 77% of parents without minor children don't have a will. That leaves the kids' future in the hands of the courts. That I do not want to happen with my children. So listen, go to trustandwill.com, use the code word San Diego, and get 10% off plus free shipping of your estate plan documents.
Avoid the over $2 billion in annual probate fees
Yes.
that people pay. You can do this. 77% of parents don't have a will with
And
minor children.
You can't defer those either.
You
Those
cannot.
have to pay
So again,
those.
go to trustandwill.com, use the code San Diego, all one word at checkout to get 10% off and free shipping of your estate plan documents at trustandwill.com. Feel like this is we're at a dangerous time this morning. Padres fan base seems to be consuming each other. Just everyone is like sniping.
Everyone's
and in a
after
bad
everybody.
mood.
Yeah, I get it. I do. I get it, man. We've spent a lot of time talking Padres baseball with you guys the last 7 years. Thank you for listening to us. We do have Dodger fans tuning in right now. I just got a text from my buddy who's a Dodger fan. He goes, could you guys do a funeral home read to maybe lighten the mood a little bit? Yeah, it stinks. You know, it's not confirmed where he's going, but I think we all have a pretty good idea of where Roki is headed, and it's
careful, Dodgers fans. You could still have the same
now
disappointment.
Now listen,
in the next 24 hours.
I will say this: if he goes to Toronto, I'm coming right back after you, Dodger fans. I just deleted like 50 bookmarks. I will go re-add those bookmarks, and I'm coming back after you again, just so you know. If he goes to LA, he's taking the path of least resistance. That's it. I mean, that's it goes against everything we heard about Roki Sasaki. I'm not trashing Roki. I would love to have him here. I'm excited to watch him pitch. That being said, it really flies in the face of everything we've heard about him. And you know, I will not wish bad on any player. I do hope you get mobbed by the media though in LA, because I know you will. I know you will. It's going to be a circus.
I always felt my biggest fear about Roki going to the Dodgers was not actually
the game.
Was the glitz and glamour of LA and the World Series titles and the rings and everything. I didn't get the sense that was what was going to motivate him. What worried me is that he looked at the depth the Dodgers had in terms of starting pitching and knew, there's no chance they'd need to overuse him. There's no chance that, he'd have to be forced to accelerate his timeline at all. That the Dodgers can, absolutely, more than any other franchise, afford to be very patient with Roki Sasaki as he comes over.
doubt.
And if that was important to him,
it's a good point.
The Dodgers were always his best landing spot. I was hoping that he sounded like a guy who maybe wants to get going really quickly, and the Padres are probably the better spot for him in terms of, the rotation spot's waiting for you, we're ready to use you, let's get you going. But if that was something that was like he was hesitant about, the Dodgers offered a very easy path to, slowly, acclimate to Major League Baseball without having to make 30 starts this coming season.
You know, it's interesting. Mike is in the chat. Our buddy Mikey says there was going to be too much pressure on him here. I mean, look, when you're an LA Dodger, you have to win the World Series. Have to. Like, if the Dodgers don't win the World Series again this year, they'll be mocked mercilessly by me and everyone I know. Mercilessly, as they should. And so that is the ultimate pressure, is having to win the World Series. He did not have to win the World Series in year one in San Diego. He did have to go out and pitch every 6th day. They were going to throw him right into the rotation.
However, any setbacks he has during the regular season with the Dodgers,
no, he's fine.
It's not going to hurt them. They're going to make the playoffs,
Well,
almost certainly going to win the division. They're going to be in the playoffs. Now, if they get there and they start him in Game 5 of the division series and he blows up and they lose, he is going to be in the crosshairs in Los Angeles. They have to win when they get to the playoffs, and there's going to be a lot of pressure in October if they're relying on him. But in the regular season, it doesn't matter. He can lose a few games, and it's not going to hurt the Dodgers' pursuit of getting to the postseason.
Yeah, Mike says, but he's buried in that rotation. He's not dependent on to be the ace, possibly in year one and definitely year two. But that's what he wanted. That's what he said he wanted. He wanted to blaze his own trail. He wanted to, be the guy. He said he wanted to be the best there ever was. I can't imagine going, great, slot me in the 6th. What person that claims I want to be the best there ever was, bat me 8th? No, hit me 3, hit me 1, hit me 4, start me 1, start me 2. The best he said I want to be the best to ever do it. That doesn't scream to me, throw me in the 6th slot in the rotation, right? It says give me a chance to go out and beat really good competition, as the 1 or the 2. And he wouldn't be the 1 this year, certainly, if Dylan Cease has hung on to, and Michael King. Roki would have been probably your 3rd.
Yeah,
so,
ultimately, he will rise to his level of talent. If he is dominant, the Dodgers will happily, throw him out there as often as he wants to go. If he's struggling, though, they're not going to be able to put him in their starting rotation. I do wonder what happens, especially, assuming Clayton Kershaw comes back, if they actually stay healthy later in the season. And Roki let's say Roki does take, a few months to acclimate and, face big league hitters. Are the Dodgers going to keep pitching him if he's struggling a little bit when they have 7 better options than him? Or do they send him to the minors? Do they put him in the bullpen? What do they do? Is that the best course for his development? That would have been my worry with Roki Sasaki, that the Dodgers don't really need to invest that much in him because they have so many other options. And if it's not going well, they can just kind of cast him, to the side and wait on him to develop.
Yeah, JD says, if Roki pitches Game 1 of the World Series, he'll be a legend. That's being great in that rotation. I don't say. And then somebody said, I think he could be there 1 already. No, he's not. No. If Glasnow is healthy, if Snell is healthy, if Shohei's not pitching right away, yeah, man, he's their 5. He's their 5.
And everyone has said about Roki, he's not a finished product yet. He's got a devastating splitter and a great fastball, but he needs a couple more pitches. Yeah. He needs some work to be a truly, top 2 rotation guy in Major League Baseball. That was going to be true with the Padres as well. He was going to slot in as a 4 probably for the Padres this season.
The other thing, too, is, people are like, well, you guys are acting like Roki was the savior. No. He's the savior for the offseason because he doesn't cost a lot of money and you have many years of control. He's not going to come in and win every single game, right? He may not even be effective. You have no idea. That being said, he was the savior for the San Diego Padres offseason. The Los Angeles Dodgers do not need him to save their offseason. When you say savior, it's because he's young, good, and controllable and cheap. That's it. And that's why you wanted to get this guy.
Few and far between.
And they're massively few and far between. This is Paul Skeens. It's Paul Skeens. Who comes out of college and is like, give me 6 weeks and let me go out and dominate the big leagues?
The real savior for the San Diego Padres was the guy who was last year's savior and will probably be the savior going forward, and that's Jackson Merrill.
Yeah, this is Jackson
You know,
Merrill.
an everyday player who was a rookie of the year, top candidate, and if he can take another step forward, could be an MVP candidate in the next couple of years. I don't know if he's going to be on that path, but if he is, Jackson Merrill will be more valuable than Roki Sasaki.
Well, we have
going
two.
forward.
We have two of them, and we have Fernando, who is 26 years old, and we have Jackson Merrill, and that's a good start. But getting Roki and having Ethan come up and Leo come up, that's when you could get
They're
really,
going to need
really
one
excited.
or both of those guys to live up to their potential as well. This is just it lowers the margin for error for the San Diego Padres again. And the Padres were always playing with a much smaller margin for making mistakes. The Dodgers have a massive margin for error. Annie and Elston, they were talking about the payrolls yesterday, and even I had not thought about it in this perspective, but as they were going through the NL West payrolls, do you know that the difference between the Padres and the Dodgers is about 3 times more than the difference between the Padres and the Rockies? Like, the Padres are the Padres, Giants, and Diamondbacks are much closer in payroll to the Rockies than they are the Dodgers. The Dodgers are like $350 million. Yeah. Rockies are like 120. Padres are around 200. Giants and Diamondbacks are in that 170 to 190 range. There's four teams on one side in the NL West, and there's one team that's living in its own universe. And they can make mistakes like Trevor Bauer. They can make giant financial mistakes, and it doesn't hurt them one bit.
Not even a little.
Padres don't live in that world. This would have been a chance to have a guy that wasn't going to even be a possible mistake because you weren't investing a ton of money in him.
Yeah.
That was the great thing about Roki Sasaki.
If it didn't work, it didn't work.
He was 100% risk-free.
Yep.
You lose your international signing guys this year, and that was the only cost to Roki Sasaki, essentially, which is why it was such a great opportunity for the San Diego Padres and why it doesn't even matter to the Dodgers that they get him.
Well,
doesn't matter at all.
And it's going to be tough, man, because I as a fan, I don't want to be sold on these young prospects. Nothing against them at all. I'm happy for them. It's great that we have them. But that's a 10, 12 year ago something to get excited about, right? It has changed here. Expectations have changed. Season tickets are sold out. Fans want a winner. Fans deserve a winner. And when your offseason so far consists of Tyler Wade and Martín Maldonado, a bunch of minor league depth moves, which are fine. You absolutely need those. I'm not railing against those. But when that's all you do, you can't sell me on this 16-year-old from the Dominican Republic today in 2025.
Now, I do, to be fair, you can't really be mad until they actually start losing, can you?
Yes.
You can.
I can't. I have the ability.
If they have a terrible offseason to go out and win 90 games and make the playoffs and make a run, then that's all that really matters.
I think what sucks is going into the season feeling like I did last year, going 81 and 81. Today, 81 and 81.
They didn't lose 12 WAR this offseason.
No, I know.
I mean,
I know.
They didn't lose. They shouldn't drop back down.
I know.
In fact,
but we know how that works. We added a buttload of money and pieces in 23 and didn't make it. Padres fans are scarred, and rightfully so. I totally understand that, and I'm with you. I am absolutely one of you. I wish I could come in and say, no, it's going to be fine. I can't. Again, had you made other moves to supplement the or to ease the pain of potentially losing Roki, having a 33% chance of getting him, I'd feel a little bit better. But we're fine. We ride.
It'll be interesting to see what the Padres do going forward. If they feel a little more pressure to be more active.
Eric said we actually lost nearly 12 WAR. So yeah, that's
in Ha-Seong Kim.
Well, we've lost Profar for now.
Profar.
Ha-Seong Kim, Profar. What pitchers did we lose?
I mean, Joe, if you're going to count Joe as losing the WAR, that's...
Yeah, it's probably around there.
Yeah,
probably around 12.
For one season, a little under.
You still have a chance to add... Oh, Tanner Scott, 4 WAR, Profar, 4 WAR,
Higgy.
Yeah. So, yeah, Higgy. Man, they really did.
I don't know what Solano's WAR was.
I asked them, it was 1. I asked them to shoot me in the forehead, and they did. Don't shoot me in the back. They shot me in the
We're going
foot.
to check traffic. The Padres did actually make some international signings yesterday. That wasn't a concern. I want to explain why this is different today to everyone. We'll do that after a check of traffic here on 97.3 The Fan.
From the 855 Get Ross Traffic Center, protecting San Diego after accidents or injury, here's Kelly Danick.
Crash has cleared from the left lanes on southbound 15 past Auto Parkway. Everything now over to the right shoulder, but watch out for lots of residual there. And crash still in third stage, East 54th to 805. I'm Kelly Danick with Ben & Woods, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
The Padres have slayed the dragon
Paulie!
again.
Ah! Well, now we know who to blame.
Sure feels that way.
Adam.
I always blame Adam.
Always. I can't say anything.
So, again, if you're just joining us, the Padres are reportedly pivoting this morning to sign some of their international prospects, and that is a clear sign that they will not be signing Roki Sasaki because there's a fixed pool, and you can't have both. It's, you get one or the other. You get to sign your international prospects, or you get to sign Roki Sasaki. Now, yesterday, the Padres did sign a couple of prospects, and it panicked a lot of people in the Roki Sasaki sweepstakes. A couple of guys from the Diablos Rojos of Mexico City, their youth program, Jose Verdugo and Aaron Castro. But those were reportedly $10,000 signings. Anything at $10,000 doesn't count against your international pool. You can sign as many of those guys as you want. So that actually had no impact. The guys reported today, Carlos Alvarez and Juan de la Cruz, those would be bigger money signings that would eat into your pool and thus take away the possibility of signing Roki Sasaki. And that was reporting from Francis Romero, covers Caribbean baseball prospects, Baseball Writers Association of America member, and that's why we're all feeling that the Padres are definitely out now in the Roki Sasaki sweepstakes. But nothing has been officially announced by the team or by Roki's camp this morning.
Now, like Tuesday morning, the news from Monday was that the so-and-so, the Giants, the Mets, the whoever's, have been told they are out of the Roki Sasaki running. We haven't gotten those reports yet, right?
Correct.
Jeff Passan has not tweeted out, hey, Roki has informed the Padres they are out. We are speculating.
Presumably he has, or they wouldn't be pivoting to other players. Unless this is a pressure point on Roki, like, hey, you don't pick us today, we're going to start signing other people. It's up to you now. This is the ball in your court. I doubt they're doing the
or their Yankees
the hard
reports
sell.
that, hey, the Yankees have decided to start signing international players. They are out on Roki Sasaki.
Well,
or was it just they're out?
Well, you couldn't sign anyone until
it was
the 15th, and this was all before the 15th. So that's what's different. This week, and why that was always I said on the 15th, hey, keep an eye out for international signings because that'll be a clear indication of where you stand in the Roki Sasaki sweepstakes.
I just zoned out.
It's all right.
And for 30.
I've
just
done
pulled
it
a
once or
Ben.
twice
You have
in
done
my
it.
life.
I
think it's understandable.
I can honestly say I did not hear one word either of you said. I was lost in my own thoughts for a moment. I really was.
I feel like a lot of people out there are lost in their
Ohio State.
He did? I'm not surprised.
Yeah.
I'm not surprised.
Because we're not even talking college football.
Ricky said, to what end can you not be mad until they lose games? I don't understand it either, Ricky. I'm just mad. So I hate being that fan, too. Sitting back, arms folded, going, all right, show me something. I don't like being that fan. I really don't because I just love this game.
My point is that if they went out and had a good season again.
Sure.
With the players that they have, which is absolutely possible.
It is possible.
I can construct a very realistic world. No slow
Nobody
start.
wants to hear it
Mike
today.
Schultz back for the next. I'm just saying, I can construct a realistic world where Jackson Merrill takes another step forward, Tatis has a really good, healthy season, and they win, 90 games, go to the playoffs again. Won't you feel really dumb having spent the entire offseason being mad about the Padres? That's all.
No, I have no problem admitting I was wrong, especially about how good a team or bad a team. Zero.
I'm just saying.
I'm not your normal sports guy. I will admit I'm wrong.
The way I see it is the Padres are putting themselves in a place where if they don't have a good year, then they have opened themselves up for the criticism of, well, what did you do to get better then?
Yeah.
Why didn't you do more?
Yeah, you should have
and
done
that'll
more.
be a very legitimate question.
But you can say
later,
that now. You can absolutely.
You can ask the question now.
I'm just saying it.
Everybody
because this
has.
money that you were hoping to give to Roki, it had no impact on signing other players.
No.
And I remember yelling at Ben because he said something like, they're going to wait and see what happens with Roki. I'm like, why?
Why?
Why not go get the positions that you need, have desperate areas of need, and go get Roki?
It is better to do nothing than make bad moves in an offseason. That is
but
also
you don't
true.
know if they're bad moves until the
But if a ball's hitting the left field, nobody's there to catch it.
That's right. Mike Brousseau elimination on this show. Brousseau.
I am absolutely aware of the fact that if the Padres take a big step back in the win column this year, they have opened themselves up to huge questions and criticism from the fan base.
I love this, and this is why we are a show, Alex. He says, "How can Ben be so relaxed?" That's him. He is that way. You did. Hold on. I got to go back a couple of weeks, and I wish I would have told Paulie to bookmark it. But you said live on the air, not off the air. You said if we lose Roki to the Dodgers, I'm going to be devastated.
I'm gutted inside. I am.
Well, then be gutted
really
on the air.
Gutted inside.
Be gutted on the air.
But I also live in a real world, and you've got to operate in what's going to happen. Back in 2023, when the Padres signed, huge offseason and then had a terrible year, you weren't really that critical of AJ Preller or ownership because, they went on and did it. It was on the players.
It's a new year,
It was
man.
on the players.
It
This
was.
year, it's going to be more on management if they have a bad year.
Big time.
That's where we stand right now. And so we're going to watch closely. All right, coming up in our second hour, we got Don't Do This.
We don't know.
Daniel Jeremiah from the NFL Network, big Padres fan. I'm sure
Huge
he's
Padres
not
fan.
happy this morning as well. Is going to join us at 7:35 to talk playoffs and more coming up on The Fan.
Just tweeted myself, Ben Benjamin, that I bet Ken Rosenthal is beaming right now. He's cutting up little banana slices into his morning cereal, just whistling some Bruce Springsteen. Just beaming.
Do you think he's pro-Dodgers or just anti-Padres?
Both.
Because there is the possibility
that he goes to the Blue Jays.
That he goes to the Blue Jays.
Yeah,
the Roki Sasaki.
I heard a little nugget that's pretty interesting.
There's a reason why the Blue Jays were a finalist.
Yes.
It wasn't just to be nice to the Blue Jays. Something in their circumstances, their pitch, that appealed to Roki Sasaki. No one's really figured it out entirely, but there's something there to be sure. So,
for sure.
I wouldn't feel like 100% confident if I was a Dodgers fan right now.
Well, this guy is a MLB insider, Mike Rodriguez. He's got 20,000 followers. Let's see here. MLB insider, broadcaster, and former analyst for Chicago Cubs in Spanish. He said, according to Mike Deportes, the Dodgers and Roki Sasaki are close to an agreement. So that would be. I mean, if he goes to Toronto, fine. It's definitely
best of luck.
Yeah, best of luck. I mean, you'll never hear. When's the last time you watched? I love baseball. I didn't see a Blue Jays game really at all. It's just they're kind of off my radar. But
to see some Vlad Jr. highlights.
Yeah.
That's about it.
Yeah. Seen anything else?
This has been a really fun morning.
It has. I can't even impart to you guys how much good stuff we had today. I can't even tell you. I can't oversell it enough.
We've been here since 5 a.m. working all the way up until the show started.
I got here at 4:30. Okay, I was up at 2. I was so happy with all the stuff we had planned today on a fun, loose Friday.
There's no reason that we can't pivot a little bit, my man.
Feels disingenuous.
It's a pivot kind of Friday.
It really is, actually.
Maybe we need to set the tone
Woodrow,
by pivoting a little bit.
Woodrow tweets, bring on the lockout. And we save all this great material for the lockout shows that we're going to have to do. Ugh. I'm sorry, man. I really am. My heart is broken for Padres fans out there. It sucks, dude. It's just such a good lesson.
Do you want to hear the take that is really going to make everybody angry?
Why would I want to hear that? And why would you want to give it? This is what I don't understand about you.
Only because it's true and nobody wants to hear it right now. 5 years ago, it would have been unthinkable that the Padres would have even been in on a pitcher like Roki Sasaki.
I'm going to come over there and punch you in the nose.
I don't believe that.
You don't believe that they? I mean, Roki
5 years ago they would have been in.
5 years ago, 2020, they would not. I mean, they would have wanted him, but he would have had no reason at all to even give him a second meeting. There just would have been no reason. And now, the Padres are a finalist. It just
I'm not going to get excited about being a finalist.
It always hurts more to finish in second place.
I'm not going to get excited about at least we were nominated.
I'm not excited about it. I'm offering you
a
kernel of truth that provides absolutely zero satisfaction.
It's a kernel, all right. It's a kernel of doo-doo is what you just gave me. Here's a doo-doo kernel.
There's nothing untrue about what I just said. It's a truth that doesn't soothe at all.
I hate you.
No one else.
I want to hear about Jake and your appearance yesterday. I really do. I've been waiting an hour, holding all the good, juicy details.
It was fun. I don't like doing TV.
I know you don't.
I don't like it. I'm not attractive enough for television, and Jake is. And, the John Howard's super polished, and I don't like doing television hits. And but I did it because Jake was kind enough to come on our show remember when we had Jake and we had
Jake, Julian,
Darnay. It was so much fun. Those guys were rad. So when he asked me if I would go on and do a hit with them, he wanted to talk Notre Dame football, and I was like, yeah, I'd love to. And he hit me with this hot take that the Irish don't have a chance really, and I didn't know how to answer. I was like,
did you disagree with him?
I was like, yeah. I mean, I'm not going to get on here and be like, no, the Irish are going to win.
Did he realize that you're just going to do the same thing that you do on this show, and that is
defer?
Kind of avoid the topic?
Yeah, pretty much
of Notre Dame football.
Pretty much, dude.
Hey, today on our streaming show, we've brought on Woods, who's going to avoid the topic of Notre Dame entirely, even though that's why we brought him on the show.
Correct. Well, he asked me, did the Domers stand a chance? I mean, the obvious answer is yes, they stand a chance, 100%. But Ohio State, they're the Dodgers of college football. I mean, they have the most expensive roster money can buy. It's going to be a challenge. Hence the 9-point spread. Like a 9-point spread in a championship game. Do I have a chance? Sure, got a chance. Do the Padres have a chance to win the West this year? Yes, technically there's a chance that they win the West this year.
I don't see it being an Alabama-Notre Dame repeat.
See, and I said the same.
I said
the same thing. I said the same thing. But a lot of my Padres fandom is brought on by my fandom for Notre Dame. I set my expectations early, and I'm with each year that passes, my expectations kind of go down, and that's not good. You know, I don't ever want to get to a point where I'm like, I'll take my 10 wins and be good. That's how I am about the Irish. I don't expect much. But I've seen them win a championship. Therein lies the difference. I haven't seen the Pods win one. So we had fun. They were very complimentary of you guys. I was very complimentary of you guys. They really liked the show, and they were really kind for having me on. The cool thing was, so my late father-in-law, that's where he started his television career at KFMB.
Then he came to Channel 10 for a while, and then he went to Fox for a while.
Exactly. So I walked in, and I'm like, hey, so has this been updated at all? And Jake said, no, I don't think so. So I took a picture of the newsroom, and I texted it to my wife, and she wrote back, she goes, oh, my God. I lived in there when I was a little girl. I used to sleep in that room while my dad did his 11 o'clock news. And obviously very special. And it was kind of cool to be in there where he worked as well. So it was fun. It was a full circle moment, certainly. And those guys are great dudes. I had a great time doing it. It was really easy. We just shot the breeze and had some fun.
How was the craft services and the makeup artists?
So I didn't get any makeup, which I wanted. I'll be honest with you, I wanted it.
You wanted a green room with your name on it?
No, I didn't need all the bells and whistles, but like I wanted them to like brush me up a little bit, make me look good for TV, and I didn't. So that's it. But it was fun, man. It was. They're really, really good guys, and I had a great time, and they're very complimentary of the show. And, it was weird. Like, they're giving you props for the professional that you are, Benjamin.
I watched it last night, and I thought, I know this was not over the air, right? It was just on, like,
they ended up airing a bunch of it on the news, too. Yeah,
and then this morning. Like, you don't typically, I should say it's taboo. We do it every once in a while.
We do it, yeah.
It's taboo to mention any other competitors
it's
by
weird.
Name or by station or whatever. And we've done that before, especially if somebody like...
Yeah, when Dave Rickards retired. I was elated.
Retired, whatever. And it's kind of a really stupid radio thing, and maybe television as well, where the bosses are like, don't let
mention
anyone
your competition.
think that there's any other station other than 97.3. Like, bro, we're not stupid.
Yeah, people know.
Oh my God, there's another station out
with
there?
YouTube
No
and
way.
Spotify, Apple Podcasts, like SiriusXM. Like, there are a million different options for you. We understand that, and we thank you for being here.
That's exactly right. But it was great, man. We did some Padres baseball. Talked about the Martín Maldonado signing, which didn't move the needle much for me yesterday, if at all. And it was great, man. It was Jake and I had a nice convo before we started about kids, and he was asking a lot about my kids. It was really sweet, man. It was fun.
All right, so I'm going to push back on this. A tweet from Sonabagon. According to Ben Higgins, we should throw a parade because we were finalists. Meet up downtown right after the show. I'm not suggesting to celebrate. I am simply trying to offer some perspective that the Padres are at least trying to play at the big kids table.
Well, they've done that the last few years, right? They have. You can't deny them that.
I grew up in a world where the Padres didn't play at the big kids table at all. They were never seen. They were never heard from. They were at a card table in some other room from other baseball teams.
But I think this is probably where you're going.
I'm just going to say, getting to the big boys table has some responsibilities that come with it. You
Correct.
can't just get there for a year and then back off and say, well, at least we got there once. Like, how do you stay at the big kids table?
How do you stay there? And the way you stay there is by getting a Roki Sasaki today. That's really how you stay there. And I'm very pleased about the work that the team has done in the international market. That's been great. It hasn't really paid off yet, though, Benny. It really has not paid off at the big league level. Well, other than Adrian Morejon, a little bit. it really hasn't paid off yet. So Roki was the one that
They've traded some of the
they
guys,
have,
in parts of deals that have gotten
100%.
players.
So that deserves some merit, certainly.
But yeah, you're right. Where's the giant win?
Where's the huge dub?
Right? And if you had landed Roki Sasaki, you could point to Ethan Salas, Leodalis DeVries, and Roki Sasaki as a threesome of players that there's a really good chance if at least one of them doesn't hit, I'd be surprised.
Yeah,
maybe two, maybe all three.
Yeah.
Could end up being, star-type Major League Baseball players. Now you've got two of them still in the fold, but the two that you probably are less of a sure thing than Roki Sasaki was going to be because of their age, and you just don't know, how they're going to develop and react to the Major League Baseball level and how long it's going to take. Roki seemed like he was much closer to a finished product. Now he's older. He's 23. He's not 18, so that makes a huge difference. So you just don't know.
Yeah,
but
you don't.
But
listen,
there's a lot of hopes now on those two guys. There always was. Now even more so.
I try to teach, especially my oldest son, to win and lose with grace and dignity. Right, like to win, learn how to win and learn how to lose as well. And this is one you feel like you lost. And if he ends up going to the Dodgers, congratulations to the Dodger fans out there. Nice to see you guys catch a break finally, as you'll add Clayton Kershaw back mid-season on a pittance, and Blake Snell and everything else. Nice to see you guys win one. Once.
The as a fan base, we feel like we need a win, and in that sense, I'll agree with everybody. It's spoiled by playoff appearances in 3 of the last 5 years, but everything was going so well up until the third inning of Game 3 of the NLDS.
Yep.
And then they stopped scoring.
Yep.
You got eliminated by the Dodgers. The Dodgers win the World Series. The Padres are incredibly quiet in the offseason. You get the ownership drama and the lawsuit, and now you lose out in the Roki Sasaki sweepstakes. There has been a lack of good news to point to for a while now. And we're just looking for something that we want to say, all right, I can feel good about that right now. And they have not given us anything that we can feel good about since the end of the season last year.
Yeah, no doubt.
And everyone wants to have something you can feel good about. And I'll say, they have Jackson Merrill, they have Tatis and Machado and good players coming back. But none of that is new. We want something new.
Yeah, you want something fresh, man.
You can point to that is coming back.
And look, man, we're not the only team to not drastically improve this offseason, but I don't really care what the Orioles or the Mariners are doing. I don't. I think it's absurd that the Orioles and Mariners aren't spending a ton of money. I think it's absurd, but I'm not emotionally invested in it. I don't really care. It is what it is.
Don't Do This is coming up next. I think we have found, perhaps, the lowest form of humanity in existence.
Yeah, this is pretty bad.
We'll get to that. First, Woods.
California sports fan, good news. Underdog available to play in your state. The best place to cash in on all your takes during the playoffs. Which players are going off, which ones are ice cold. I'm going to go in and pick mine for the weekend, and I'll post them. I'll throw them up on my X feed at the Stephen Woods, and I'm gonna make a bunch, dude. I'm gonna pick higher or lower on player stats. All the NFL playoff games going on. I will most certainly be involved in the national championship game on Monday as well. I'll post those on X. You guys can play along or tell me I'm crazy. I don't really care. Cook up some great fire entries for a shot to win real cash prizes all playoff long. And you can do football picks. You can mix and match across your other favorite sports. You can pick Patrick Mahomes, under a touchdown, and you could pick the winner of the golf tournament this weekend. You can do all kinds of stuff on Underdog. They are the best place to play. Pick them. So download the app, sign up with the promo code Woods. Deposit now, you'll get up to $1,000 in bonus cash instantly. The promo code when you sign up for Underdog is Woods. Must be 18 and over, present in the state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms do apply. Concerned with your play, call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit ncpgambling.org.
Hamul Casino. Fun above all else.
Don't Do This is brought to you by Trust and Will. Don't leave your entire estate, house, kids, and life savings up to chance if and when you die. Do set up a trust or will online at trustandwill.com. It's a lot more affordable than you think. Visit trustandwill.com for more info.
I know you're going to get us started, but I just wanted to say, you always bust my balls for not running with info that I get. And I had probably 3 people that I trust tell me that Roki was in the bag here. And I did not run
That's
with it.
why you don't run with info.
That's exactly why. Don't you think that's smart?
Mm-hmm.
To not run?
Well,
I would feel like a buffoon right now.
Yes.
There's plenty of people.
Because that's how you feel. There are people that don't care.
I wouldn't.
How? How do they not care?
I wouldn't have pushed you to report that, though. That you've had better sourced information than that.
That's fair.
That's people with strong feelings. That's not a. That's not
pretty,
a report. Strong feelings is not a report.
I had 3 pretty good ones that I was like, ooh, okay. I would be sitting here with egg all over my face. You guys know me. I couldn't handle it.
No.
I'd have to leave. Polly, I'll meet you in Arizona. Meet me there. Oh, bummer. Go ahead, Benny. Get us started.
As I teased, I think we found the lowest form of humanity. Fortunately, winds have died down. We got an offshore flow. I've never been happier to see clouds in the sky this morning. Marine layer, I'm all for it now after the last couple of weeks and the wind and the dryness and what's happened up in Los Angeles. But the lowest form of humanity, and you've seen it on the news, I'm sure, the people who've been looting evacuated homes in Los Angeles and, stealing things.
Terrible.
So I thought this was a case of that. This is kind of a subset of that. But Hall of Fame tennis player Pam Shriver said yesterday that she evacuated. So she was able to actually get out some of her prized possessions, like her 5 Grand Slam trophies, 5 U.S. Open trophies, 5 French Open plates, 1 Australian Open trophy. She put them in her car, and they went to a hotel, a DoubleTree, and someone broke in and stole her car at the hotel.
Hold on. She left them in the car. She
says
went to a DoubleTree, left her.
She was just checking. She was just starting to take things out.
Oh,
and then it was like, "Where's the car?"
Oh my God!
And
it was
she discovered
that fast.
the broken glass in the parking lot.
So I thought she left them there overnight. It's like, oh, what happened?
No, apparently not.
That's a quick.
Fortunately,
quick
her home was not burned down, but now they're looking. They found like the family pictures, like a few blocks away, but still looking for the car, which is pretty awful. And I'm sure there's a lot of people who have possessions with them and carrying them all over Los Angeles right now, and it's still the lowest of the low.
Well, yeah, I mean, listen, and it kind of ties into this next story. I hadn't heard about this. Evgeny Malkin lost 3 championship rings. He plays for the Pittsburgh Penguins, Ben. He lost 3 championship rings. His house was broken into and ransacked. And
is this part of the athlete string of burglaries
it sure
that's
feels
been a
like
big
it.
story the last couple of months?
It sure feels like it. And he had them in his home. Somebody broke in, ransacked it on January 11th while he had a game against the Ottawa Senators. And he did not play in the game, but he was there supporting his team, came home, and house had been broken into. And again, they stole 3 championship rings. But the good news is they found them.
Well, that's good.
The Allegheny Police, he says, I would like to express my gratitude to the Allegheny County Police. The outpouring of support and concern from my teammates and fans has meant so much to me. They did find those rings and get them back to him.
It does feel like that would be a difficult item to sell if it's stolen. A French Open plate, a U.S. Open trophy, a championship ring that's
where'd
got
you get
its
this?
name on it. Yeah, where'd you get this? Huh? It's weird because I did see a report where these things were stolen recently, and who's going to buy them? It's like I love the movie. What's the Pierce Brosnan, the one where he's the art thief?
Oh, I just watched it recently.
It's a good one.
Thomas Crown Affair.
The Thomas Crown Affair. He steals the art, but he just does it for his own personal edification because he knows you can't sell prize masterpieces.
Lisa.
Everyone knows it's been stolen.
Yes, hard to. They say in the biz, it's hard to fence that stuff.
Exactly.
Yeah, it'd be very, very difficult to fence those things.
Exactly.
These criminals don't really think it through all of the time.
Finally, a little do this here.
DD mega doo-doo.
The thing about Philly fans, they seem to be the worst of the worst. Except when they're not.
When they're not.
And when they show that they actually do have a heart. And they did it again this week. The Philadelphia Eagles.
Call me when you get your phone.
Philadelphia Eagles, who've been, their fans have been in Don't Do This week already. Getting ready to host the LA Rams on Sunday in the divisional round of the NFC playoffs. A bunch of Eagles fans have gotten together in one of their Reddit groups and decided, hey, let's raise money for wildfire victims in LA ahead of the game. So they started putting it around. They had a goal of 10,000. It looks like they have pretty much met that goal already. In fact, I think they've blown past it, and they're still raising more money. They said, we're still going to kick the Rams' butt, but there's plenty of people in and around LA that could use some help right now, and they just want to do something nice this week of the Rams game.
That's a cool
move.
Story. Yeah, I always like that move. I also like that drop that Paulie plays.
Yo, call me when you get your phone.
That was the guy who grabbed the phone out of someone's hand and threw it over the side of the railing at the
and then said,
the park.
Call me when you get your phone.
So, Phillies fans, you're sometimes a walking contradiction.
Yeah, mostly fact, mostly fiction. We will be there in July, and I'm looking forward to meeting as many as I can.
Oh, yeah.
And just really getting down to the nitty gritty.
I want it all.
I want all of it. I mean, I don't want to get called a fat C word. I know that, which I might.
Don't walk around with your body cam and maybe instigate stuff.
We got him. But I'd like to have some beers with some Philly fans. Very much so. We have a tier 1 that lives out there, and he DM'd me and said, hey, are you guys coming through? Would you be willing to meet? I said, yeah, man. If there's tier 1s out in Philly, you best believe. We need a gang, so we will travel in numbers.
Ben and Woods World Tour.
Looking forward to traveling with you guys this summer. That's Don't and Do This for a Friday.
That was Don't Do This with Ben and Woods on 97.3 The Fan.
You guys are actually traveling right after the show today.
We are. Yeah.
Safe driving to both of you.
Thank you very much. Paulie's not driving. I'm driving.
You're driving.
Safe driving to me.
I saw
safe passenger.
Your car was down here. Paulie, somehow you got dropped off, or?
Yeah, I got dropped off.
So you didn't have to leave your car
here for a week,
which is nice.
We have it all. We have it all mapped out like we always do. The place that you recommended in Yuma,
Mr. G's.
I really enjoy
food
it. Oh, I really
Yuma.
the little
it's
burritos.
Such an easy drive. We've done it so many times that it's so regimented now. Where it's 2.5, 3 hours to Yuma.
Yeah,
we'll gas up here. 2 to 3
hours.
We're
full.
We're full.
We are full. We don't have to stop. Do you have snacks? I have everything we need.
We'll be good to go. Get to Yuma, have some lunch.
We're gonna stop in Yuma and buy some Zin too, because they've banned in California pretty much every Zin with any flavor at all.
That's not the red wine you're talking about.
No,
ZYN.
No, the ZYNs, and I'm gonna spend.
And you'll
I'm gonna spend $1,000 on flavored Zins today.
You'll have your lunch around 1. And you'll do your stopping in Yuma, get gas, whatever, and then you'll get in the car back to Phoenix. It's only another couple hours.
Loves in Gila Bend.
Yep, Loves in Gila Bend for one last pee break and gas up.
I was going to say, but at some point, Woods has to stop again. Because even though he just went at lunch,
it's about every
he
hour.
can't make it all the way from Yuma to Peoria without stopping again, which drives me crazy.
It's an
epidemic.
I can go
I
can go the entire 5.5 hours, and maybe I don't hydrate enough. You do drink a lot of water, but that second stop always gets me. I get one stop, fine. You can always stop once on a road trip. The second stop always gets me.
I have considered wearing a diaper on long road trips because it's such an epidemic.
I think I'd be more uncomfortable knowing that
just me saying, shut up,
while we're driving.
Shut up, dude, shut up. Shh. All right, I feel better. It's disgusting. Or the Gatorade bottle bit, which is absolutely repulsive.
That I really don't want.
Yeah, you don't want to see that.
Our next guest is a Padres fan. I'm sure he's as bummed as we are this morning about the Roki Sasaki news, but we're having him on to talk about the NFL playoff matchups this weekend and the Padres. Daniel Jeremiah from the NFL Network is going to join us. That is coming up next with Bennett Woods. First, though, let me tell you about sdfatloss.com. The journey that I went on a summer ago, so a year and a half ago, I was feeling tired and run down, and I would blame my schedule, not getting enough sleep. But it turned out that the real reason I didn't have enough energy and I wasn't feeling great was I had too much weight on. I had just let it get kind of out of hand. And I heard about the sdfatloss.com program, and I thought, okay, this sounds interesting. It's based on real foods, not bars and shakes and mixes. I didn't like those programs before. I tried it. The weight started coming off. I was encouraged. I lost 40 pounds in 60 days, and I've kept that weight off for the last 18-plus months. And I realized, you know what? It wasn't my sleep. I didn't start getting more sleep. I just started getting better sleep. I had more energy throughout the day. My joint pain, my back pain just went away. It wasn't magic. It was losing the weight. There are so many benefits. It's not just how you look in the mirror. It's how you feel. Lower your metabolic age by up to 17 years by following the great strategies, the proprietary plan from sdfatloss.com. Get a free consultation at sdfatloss.com. Meet the great counselors. They support you every step of the way. There's no injections. It's not a fad. It's a real, sustainable, life-changing plan. And right now, get $200 off through January 31st for the new you in the new year with their New Year's special at sdfatloss.com. That's sdfatloss.com. You know me, Woods. I love it when a San Diego guy goes out into the world and makes it big, especially in this business, the media industry. And one of those guys who's done really well is Daniel Jeremiah. You see him on the NFL Network. Super smart guy. You see him breaking down the draft, covering the NFL playoffs and more. And guess what? He joins us right now here on 97.3 The Fan via Zoom and our chat as well. DJ, it is great to have you on this morning. I know you're a Padres fan, so I'm sorry we didn't have any good news for you today.
Well, I'm glad I can start sleeping again because I don't know about the time change. I'm not smart enough to know what time it is in Japan, but I just had it in my mind that somehow this story was going to break in the middle of the night. So the last few days, I'm waking up, and every time I wake up in the night, I check my phone to see if there's any news. And I'm like, what is wrong with me? Just get this over with.
Yep.
I just want it to be over with. And now I know Paulie was texting me this morning about it, and he was like, I hope he doesn't go to Toronto. And I'm like, no. I want him to go to the Dodgers.
I said, I hope he does go to Toronto.
Yeah.
I want him to go to the Dodgers.
Really?
I want him to be on the Dodgers. I want them to be the most vilified, hated team in all of Major League Baseball. They can only throw one of those guys at a time.
Yep.
So I don't care if you got 10 Cy Young Award winners, you can only put one out there at a time. And if we could just get them once, if we could just get them once in the tournament over the next 3 or 4 years with this colossal team that they've built, it would be the sweetest thing we've ever tasted.
So
It
you're saying
would be.
the bigger they are, the harder they fall.
That's right.
That's what DJ's going for here.
That's my motto there.
All right,
And
so-
I think also there's pressure that comes with having everything that you've wanted.
Yes.
Like there's pressure that gets thrown on top of what already is, viewed as the best team in baseball. Now you're viewed as the team that's indestructible.
Well,
that's pressure.
It's like I said earlier, what did you guys go? You went from 112 wins to 116, 117. I mean, it's true. It's the pressure is immense on that team. And if they don't win the World Series, everyone in the country will point and laugh and mock. I mean, it's just the way that it is. It is the true evil empire. The Yankees were the evil empire of the 90s. This is, in my opinion, way more evil because you're deferring billions of dollars. Like the Yankees at least had to stroke those checks, right? Like that's why people are looking at this going, no, I said it to a Dodger fan the other day. I said, spending money has always been cool and it will always be cool. Spending money on your team is badass. Deferring $1 billion of it is what makes people go, come on, what are we doing? And so I agree with you immensely. You've got to win. You got to win 120 games and the World Series, and you really can't even win the World Series in 5, or people are going to mock you. It's crazy.
Well, and from the Padres side of things, like 115, 100, whatever, it's 3 games. You're going to see them in a 5-game series, which we've done twice now. We're going to see him in a 5-game series, or 3 times, right? We've seen him in 3 5-game series, 20, 22, and 24.
Yeah.
So you've got to win 3. You got to beat him 3 times, and that knocks him out of the tournament.
Daniel, as long as we're on this topic, I have come around to the belief in the last couple of years that the NFL kind of has it more right than Major League Baseball when it comes to the hard cap and the fact that every team really has to spend the same amount of resources on the product on the field, and it leads to, I think, more parity and more excitement. In baseball, they have their union's been strong, and they have pushed against a hard cap for a long time. Do you think that's hurting baseball, and do you think it's one of the things that has made the NFL the king of sports in this country over the last couple of decades?
It's been undisputed. It's not even close. I mean, we get the PR stuff that comes out from the office. It goes on our emails. And I know it wasn't that long ago because at the end of the year, it was like 74 of the top 100 most watched programs were NFL games. Wow. Like it's the king of the mountain. And there's nothing even close. And that's an election year. So much of those other ones are all election coverage. But yeah, I mean, Kansas City's a dynasty in the NFL right now. Green Bay has been a Super Bowl champion. Like that's the equivalent of the Brewers and the Royals, going on like long runs. I know the Royals got a World Series, but it wasn't sustainable. So every team, and that's what I get to do with the draft, is the NFL is in the selling business, and they can sell hope to every single team every single year, because you are one Jaden Daniels away from going from the outhouse to the penthouse in one season, and that's a powerful thing to sell.
It really is. Talking to our pal Daniel Jeremiah here on Ben and Woods this morning, and looking at the matchups this weekend, I feel insane. I know Kansas City's a dynasty. They have not been the Kansas City Chiefs that we're used to, right? Down year for Kelsey, down year for Mahomes, even though,
except for all the winning.
Except for all the winning, right. I mean, they're finding ways to win games, and they've gotten bailed out a couple of times. It happens. It's going to happen in the course of a long season, but I don't know what it is. I rolled with Houston in the points because it's a lot of points for a playoff game, and I kind of like some of the dogs this weekend. What about you?
Well, I'll start with that game. I saw Houston up close and personal last week, and they are aggressive. Their front is really good. They've got two outstanding corners. I think they're going to be able to keep the score down from the Kansas City side of things. I don't see Kansas City going out there and throwing up 35 points. But the other side of it that why I would lean towards the Chiefs winning the football game is Chiefs defense is so good. And Chris Jones, for all of the talk about Andy and Pat and Kelsey and how they can tap into another gear in the postseason, Chris Jones I've seen him just take over games, including Super Bowls, and dominate games. And Houston's offensive line does not match up well with him. So I think that's a low-scoring game. I think Kansas City wins, but I don't think this is some runaway freight train. And the scary thing is, if you're watching the game and you've watched Kansas City all over the year, just know that somehow, some way, it'll be a close game, and the ball will be in Patrick Mahomes' hands with 1:40 seconds, and you can just go get in your car, go to the golf course, and hit some balls, because I can tell you exactly how that thing's going to end.
Daniel Jeremiah from the NFL Network is with us. And the second game on Saturday, the Commanders and the Lions. I mean, what a turnaround story for both of these franchises. I mean, both consider the absolute bottom of the barrel for decades almost in the NFL. And now they're battling for a spot in the NFC Championship game. I feel bad I have to pick between the two teams. I love both of these stories. You mentioned Jaden Daniels. I love that story. We love Dan Campbell and what he's brought to the Lions. Give me your thoughts on this matchup.
I think the Lions just are the more talented team. And they're at home. So, I mean, I think you lean in that direction. But what Washington's done, I said this the other day, is like it's a North Star for a team that's looking to get on the right track. You're looking to rebuild. Obviously, you nailed the quarterback. That's a key part of it. I don't want to dismiss that. But you hired the right coach, the right general manager. You went out and found a nice blend of veteran, guys who've won Super Bowls, have been instrumental in those, with Bobby Wagner and Zach Ertz. A lot of people thought those guys were on the downside, and maybe they're not what they were. But there's so much value in having those guys to help these young guys in these moments. So I think they've completely overachieved. I think what they've accomplished is incredible, but I think it's going to be a tall order for them against Detroit. I think Detroit's just a better football team.
Daniel Jeremiah on with us right now, talking a little NFL playoffs this weekend. It feels like a weird pivot after the Roki news, but Daniel's also a big Padres fan, and just kind of another bummer of a day, but, we will regroup. The sun will rise tomorrow, I guess. But the game I'm most excited about, probably everybody, Baltimore at Buffalo. I love both of these teams. I love them. I mean, I love watching both of these teams play every single week. There's no loser for me. I'm whoever wins, I'm going to be elated for. I really like both teams, the coaches, everything about them. A 1-point spread in this game at Buffalo. Both of these teams are poised to take that next step, like Super Bowl contenders. How do you see this one playing out?
Well, I'll tie it together with the way we started. This game feels like Padres Dodgers to me. Whoever comes out of this game wins it. I think these are the teams that are playing the best right now. These quarterbacks are just lights out, and it does seem a little unfair that the league allowed Derrick Henry to join forces with Lamar Jackson like
right.
that. They should not be allowed to play together. So that's like a cheat code. But Josh Allen is so dialed in and playing at such a high level, and he can take over, a football game. That Baltimore's more talented, but then you've got Josh who's playing lights out, and Buffalo's at home. I think it's the best. I think it's the best matchup we're going to see the entire playoffs. So I ended up picking Buffalo as the home team, but I don't feel great about that. I think it's a pick 'em, and I think it's going to be the best game we're going to get in the entire playoffs.
So I have to ask, because I saw you tweeted yesterday, I responded to you that you were studying film of, college offensive linemen in preparation for draft coverage. It's still months away, but you're going to be super prepared, and you're going to have your own board, so you're going to have it dialed in for the NFL Network. That's the part of football that has always remained pretty impenetrable to me. Well, offensive line play and how you can separate. I mean, obviously, a big guy, he's strong, he looks good. But how do you do that? How do you, the tiny nuance between a 320-pound guy and a 315-pound guy and how they move? To me, it just seems like that has got to be the toughest thing to just break down film endlessly of like offensive linemen and figure out which one you think will be successful on the next level.
I would say there's two lessons I learned as a young scout, and it's one of the benefits of having, older scouts. We had a guy, Ron Marcinak, who scouted in the NFL for 50 years. I mean, he was, with the Cowboys going way back and all those Hall of Fame players. He had a big part of drafting. And he gave me two pieces of advice on offensive line. He said, number one, whatever you grade them, whatever you think they are, you need to push them up, basically around higher, because there's a premium on that position, and you're gonna think that some perfect prospect exists at that position, which is not true. So you need to elevate your grade a little bit of what you think it is. And the second lesson, which is the most important, which is don't overvalue athleticism and don't undervalue, toughness, intelligence, and just instincts. So if I look at offensive linemen I've missed, Benny, it's been because I got enamored with how long he was and how rangy and athletic he was. Well, if he can't anchor down versus a bull rush, none of that stuff matters. If they're going to run twists and he doesn't have any instincts and he can't pick up a twist to save his life, that's not going to work. But I can find a guy who started in the Big Ten for 40 games, and maybe he's a little bit stiff, and maybe his arms aren't quite as long, but I know he's smart and he's tough and he's durable. Those guys play forever in the NFL.
It sounds like Ben Higgins. You were just describing. He's a little stiff.
Yeah,
he's tough, and he's got short little dinosaur arms.
I do.
Yeah,
I would never get called for holding because you never see my arms because they're so short.
He gets T-Rex arms when the bill comes and when he has to block a bull rusher on the side.
When I really notice and appreciate a good offensive lineman, usually when they're giving their Hall of Fame speech. That's about the time that I start noticing an offensive lineman, and I always feel like a bad football fan because of it. I get enamored with the running backs and the skill, the wide receivers and the quarterback, obviously, and it's the line play.
There's two types of offensive linemen, and you can just think about this when you're watching the games on this weekend. There's the type of offensive lineman that knock defenders down, and there's the type of offensive lineman who help quarterbacks up. So just put him in one of those two camps.
Hey, give me your hand. All right, pick you up. Daniel, really appreciate it.
Neither of those.
Yeah, he's not
going to be able to knock you down, and he probably won't help you up.
Yeah. This was a lot of fun. Appreciate you joining us this morning. Thank you, DJ.
Hey, the sky's not falling. Look at this lineup. We're going to be fine.
Look at that positivity. Daniel Jeremiah from the NFL Network. We probably should have waited and done our picks after we talked to Daniel. I feel
good idea.
I feel like I would have, but then again, we would have just all said, "Yeah, I'll take what Daniel's taking."
Yeah, no doubt,
There would have been no opinions of our own because he knows so much more about this stuff than we do. But some good thoughts on those games. We can talk a little bit more about it right after a check of traffic here on 97.3 The Fan.
From the 855 Get Ross Traffic Center, protecting San Diego after accidents or injury, here's Kelly Danick.
Traffic is sponsored by Valvoline Instant Drafty Oil Change, your trusted instant drafty oil change. Folks are doing a good job of staying out of trouble on our roads, guys. Yeah, we're not showing any incidents, no accidents, not a whole lot of slowing. Of course, you got the usual company heading out of Santee on westbound 52 and seeing some brake lights through National City area, northbound side of the 5, north 805. You got your brake lights through the North Park area. But yeah, nothing getting in your way out there. Stop by any of the 30 San Diego Valvoline Instant Oil Change centers. You don't have to get out of your car. Usually only takes 15 minutes or less. Plus, get a free courtesy check of your tires and battery. Visit SoCalOilChange.com for directions and discounts. SoCalOilChange.com. I'm Kelly Danick with Ben and Woods, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
My biggest takeaway there, Woods, was when he said the winner of the Bills-Ravens game feels like is going all the way. Like this is the real Super Bowl, essentially.
Yeah, I can't wait for that.
Yeah,
game.
remember, one of those teams likely then has to go into Kansas City the following week. Both of them have had their shots at the Chiefs in recent years, and they've always come up short against Patrick Mahomes, or almost always come up short in the playoffs against Patrick Mahomes. And I guess I just want to know what's going to be different this time for either Josh Allen or Lamar Jackson when they have to go into that game.
Maybe nothing.
Lamar had him at home last year, and they could not solve the puzzle of the Chiefs in the playoffs.
Maybe nothing. I mean, there's, look, everyone makes the joke about the Chiefs the Chiefs have gotten bailed out on a lot of stuff this year, and they are a great team. Make no mistake, I'm not taking one thing away from them at all. But at some point, that luck has to run out, right? And we had a Chiefs fan in the chat. He's like, look, everybody hates a winner unless it's your team. Been a Chiefs fan his whole life. Yeah, man, you get the target on your back. Everyone is gunning for you, but you can't overlook this game if you're one of those teams. This is going to be, if you're the Chiefs, you're like, if we handle business against Houston, we're going to have one of these two battered teams coming here that have just played their asses off. It gives them a good chance to win. But I love, out of those three teams, Ben, in the way that they've looked this season, I have the Chiefs third.
I kind of agree with you in terms of what we've seen. Does it change in the playoffs is my question. I think what's the similarities about those three teams and why they're always so successful is that when the plays end up being broken, anyone can call, hey, called a great play, my guy was wide open.
Yeah.
Fantastic. But most NFL plays end up broken in some way. First read was not there, second read is not there. All three of those teams make things happen on the busted plays, whether it's, Josh Allen then just scrambling and running through guys for, 10 yards, whether it's Patrick Mahomes just staying up long enough to finally flip the ball forward and pick up the first down, or it's, Lamar Jackson essentially doing the same thing, beating you with both his legs and his arms, and of course
Lamar
he can
just break off a 40-yard run out of nowhere.
It's those plays that I think separate those three teams from a lot of the other teams. Things don't have to go perfectly for the Chiefs and the Bills and the Ravens to still put points up on the board.
Yeah, it's going to be a tall order. I mean, for like think about the Bills, and they're making the point in the chat too. With Derrick Henry back there, you pound Derrick Henry as much as you can. Lamar doesn't have to be that hero, but he can be. Imagine just pounding Derrick Henry and then play action. You got Lamar Jackson back in the pocket, slinging it down the field. I mean, it's going to be a tall order.
I think if you're the Bills, especially knowing it's going to be freezing cold and snowy, you sell out completely against Derrick Henry.
Yeah, you have to.
And you make Lamar Jackson beat you with his arm.
Which he absolutely
can. And if he does, tip your cap and you go, that's the MVP right there. Lamar Jackson just beat us.
Indeed.
But you can't get into a game where Derrick Henry is just smashing you every single play for 8 yards. And I mean, there's just no way to win a game like that. So you have to sell out, load the box, target in, and make Lamar Jackson run a few times.
Sure.
Hit him a few times. Wear him out in that cold weather. Josh Allen's going to do the same thing. He's a strong runner. I mean, I don't think I've ever seen a quarterback who's as strong of a runner as Josh Allen. You get tired of tackling that guy over and over again, especially on a 10-degree day. It's going to be miserable out there, which is what makes it such great viewing for us.
Yeah, I can't
Watching
wait.
other people in misery is a lot more fun from your own warm couch on a nice Sunday in January.
Well, I think that's what Dodger fans are doing to us right now, watching us in misery, and they love it. If you missed the news, Roki Sasaki not coming to the Padres. It's still unofficial, but it's
the reports.
The reports do say that the Padres are moving on and signing some international prospects instead, probably because they've been informed that Roki does not want to bring his talents to San Diego, and it's now down to L.A. and Toronto. Feels like a fingernails chance that he ends up in Toronto, I would imagine, but certainly the possibility still exists, but it seems like it's down to 50-50 for Roki Sasaki.
Little nugget here from our friend Brian O'Grady just tweeted. He says, I faced Yamamoto, Senga, and Roki multiple times while playing in Japan. Roki was the toughest to face, in my opinion. Even though I obviously knew he threw hard, it still felt sneaky. Landed splitters in the zone, long and lanky frame. Only faced him in Chiba, which I thought was a very tough place to see the ball with their batter's eye, but I think he will be a monster in MLB. I guess
nugget.
I guess what I'm really saying is I hope he doesn't end up a Dodger.
That's the second turd nugget you've handed me this morning.
Well, at least he said at the end he was hoping he didn't end up a Dodger.
That doesn't do anything for me.
Should have had BOG on at some point to talk about it.
I love BOG.
Haven't talked to him in a while.
We haven't. Hope he's doing well.
I do too.
Yeah, there he goes.
All right, we'll come back. We will continue our discussion of our top story, Roki Sasaki mourning here in San Diego. And I mean M-O-U-R-N-I-N-G, not M-O-R-N-I-N-G. With Ben and Woods going until 10 o'clock. We also got Take on Woods ahead on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
All right, my friends, we are halfway home on a Friday. Ben and Woods, 97.3 The Fan. Obviously, top story of the day, Roki Sasaki allegedly going elsewhere. So, there's plenty of finger pointing going on. There's cannibalizing of the fan base. There's mockery of the fan base.
There's a lot of denial.
A lot of denial. There's denial, all kinds of things.
Believe me, I would love to live in this world of denial.
You kind of do with the Padres sometimes.
Most of the time, I do. I do feel like these reports are pretty solid here. If the Padres have told international prospects that they're going to be a signing ceremony at some point later today, there's not a lot of ways that I can talk my way out of this one.
And those aren't the $10,000 prospects either from yesterday. No. These are the big money prospects. But so hey, thanks for being here. A lot of people watching, a lot of people listening today. And listen, I'm with you. I think we all are super bummed about it, but life goes on. We plow ahead and plow forward. They're still going to play the season, and how that works out, nobody knows yet, but certainly doesn't look good today as we sit here. So I'm Woodsy. That's Paul Reindl. He's the executive producer. And then this guy on my left.
Oh, boy.
Ben Higgins. When we got in this morning,
Well, I asked you what you were going to do. You're going to Arizona.
Yeah, we're going to
show.
Arizona, and we had talked about maybe making a return trip to Explicit at some point, which is your favorite place on the planet. Hey there, Delilah. And you surprised me and Paul. I mean,
this is unbelievable.
Unbelievable. He just drops casually. Yeah, I was looking yesterday. I was looking at Explicit, which is a gentleman's club. I was looking at. Tell me. Let me explain.
I had asked Paul like a week ago where is our Airbnb that we're staying at next week. I'll be there on Monday.
Correct.
So I was looking around the area for dining options. I went to the Google Maps and I went, all right, restaurants in the area. Because I want to know where I want to eat when I'm on vacation. That's an important thing for me.
Do you like that app, Eat Her?
Yeah. And something popped up on the building, and I go, wait, I know that building. That's where we went to Explicit. Is it not Explicit anymore? Is it a restaurant? It came up as a restaurant. And we did not eat at our visit at Explicit last year.
We drank.
Had a couple of cocktails, but there was no food involved. So I thought, maybe Explicit's gone and they've turned it into like a diner
or buffet or something.
So I just clicked on it to check and see what it was called. And it was a restaurant. It said it was called Breweria, but it was inside. It said Inside Explicit Show Club. And I said, then maybe they have a kitchen inside where you can order food while you're enjoying.
What's it called again?
Breweria. BRU-HERIA.
I was wondering, is it like Breweria, like BIRRIA, but they're saying bruh because it's BRUH.
Breweria. I don't know.
It sounds like diarrhea.
I don't know.
Hey, let's open a restaurant and let's get it as close to diarrhea as we can. Without calling it Eat at Diarrheas. It's delicious.
So I clicked on the menu just to see what they had. It said,
is it next door to gonorrhea? Come to Chlamydia, and we have the best, most delicious buffet of all time. Join us at Chlamydia for happy hour tonight.
It said the flavors of fusion culture.
Okay.
All right.
So Breweria.
So I decided, I'll just look at the menu and see what they have. Maybe there's something we want to order if we're gonna go.
Oh, it's witchery in Spanish. Yeah.
Yeah. It sounds like a brewery too, like
Breweria.
brewery, like but
Breweria.
And so then I clicked on the menu, and it was the most inappropriate menu I've ever seen. It was like It was like a restaurant that knew it was inside of a gentleman's establishment. And I go, none of these things sound appealing. I mean, it's very standard fare, actually, but they've given up names that are just not that appropriate.
Such as?
So instead of their appetizers, it says a teaser, and you can get the deep sticks, which are just fries served with the side of ketchup.
Just call them fries.
That's what I thought. And then there's the joy sticks, which are 6 mozzarella sticks with a side of marinara sauce.
Read the second one.
Or you can get the mini porn dogs, which are 12 corn dogs served with a side of ketchup or mustard.
There's no way that is real.
That's what it says on their menu. I've got it right here.
And then they also have
mini
just
porn dogs.
Mexican cheese pizza.
It's a quesadilla. They have quesadillas as well. And then I went down to the sliders and burgers. And the first one is the Alabama three-way. which is 3 beef sliders topped with cheddar cheese and pickles. No substitutions, Woods. There's the reverse cowgirl, which is cheese, onion rings, barbecue sauce, and bacon. Do you really want to order any of these things?
Kind of now. Kind of now.
The tacos, they just call it.
Be careful.
A threesome, because you get 3 of them. Threesome actually would be nice. You can choose carne asada or chicken, topped with guacamole.
A threesome would be fun.
With guacamole, cilantro, pickled onions. No mix or matching, though, Woods. You can't get 2 carne asada and 1 chicken.
You got to take
either all
give you.
3. And then after that, I can't even read the rest of the menu on the air, honestly. The wing,
Really?
what they call the wings, I can't read on the air.
Let me see. Hang on.
I can't read what they call their wings. Am I right?
Oh, my God. There is no way. There is no way. Who would order that?
They call their sauces your choice of lubes. Kickin' Bergen, Jamaican jerk, mango habanero, Korean barbecue, extra hot, honey hot, Sutter ranch, blue cheese.
You can't say the name of
And then, wait. And then the dessert. The dessert is
Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Oh, my God.
not something you can say on the radio.
You can't say it.
Or really, I could never even say in the restaurant. I could be sitting there. I couldn't order dessert.
Give
'cause
me a blank.
I couldn't say out loud to order it.
It's in the, Paulie put it in the chat. It's unbelievable. Go to the dessert and the what they call their, what is it? Their wings?
Their wings.
I can't wrap my head around this. So first of all, the dessert's fine. But nobody's going to order what they call their wings there. You don't want it in real life, and you don't want it at your table. It's the last thing you want. This is unbelievable.
None of these things go well with food. It's just not. Now,
All right,
Paulie looked it up.
Let me get a beer and let's see.
The big old. Jesus, dude. Sure, try being okay, I'll give you like the porn dogs and stuff. That's pretty funny. I've never heard it before, so you got me. The joysticks, whatever. That's funny. This is this so not subtle at all.
Not at all.
I mean, not even a little. Good Lord. Yeah, I think the word that the name that the place is called, I've heard that word before, but not the way you described it. You made it sound like diarrhea.
I don't know.
Briaria, you said, or whatever.
Breweria.
Wow, man. DoorDash, more like Dorass. That's a good one. Gaunt's Ghost. I don't want to eat there. I can tell you that right now, especially now. I mean, I didn't really before, but I could have been convinced. Actually, now for the bit, we probably have to. We probably have to do it.
So again, before last year, I had never been to a gentleman's establishment, and now having gone once,
you feel like you've seen it.
It doesn't feel like a place you'd want to order a big plate of nachos.
Why?
No.
I just don't feel like I'd feel comfortable just eating in front of people who are obviously working. They're plying their
It is weird
their trade.
To eat in front of nude people.
Yes.
While you're fully clothed.
Yes.
Now, if you're both nude and you're sharing a plate of nachos, that could be fun.
Maybe,
right?
I don't know.
Some room service.
I mean,
I've done it a million times.
It felt okay to drink a cocktail while doing it, but again, if a big messy burger, sticky wings.
You're eating a reverse cowgirl and barbecue sauce is running down your chin onto your shirt, and she's like, "Hi, so where are you from?" Hang on, I've got to get this onion ring down.
It doesn't feel right.
Jeez. I've been to. There was one in Dallas that. It had pretty good food, and like my creepy manager used to be like, "Hey, we're taking clients over to the Lodge." It was called the Lodge. It's a top. I mean, it's one of the top ones in the world. And I'm like, I don't want to go to a client lunch at a strip club and eat crab legs in the middle of the day and prime rib. You know what I mean? Like it's like I feel so creepy right now. But that was radio back in the early 2000s, Benny. Holy cow! I do
your homework.
I do find it amazing that he went and was like, well, I mean, let's just see. Now I feel like we have to have a meal there. I'm just going to tell you right now. I think the audience needs it. I think we need it. I'm going to need to see you order that dessert. I'm going to need to see you order the wings. I have to have
the 12 mini porn dogs.
Yeah, I will definitely try those, but it's going to be tough.
frozen and thrown in an air fryer. I can't imagine that we're talking about Michelin star fare at the breweria.
But I think the audience needs it now at this point. And it's going to be fun trying to sneak that by on the old expense account, too. Explicit. $78.
I hope they don't itemize the menu items on the
One of
receipt.
you order a reverse cowgirl.
Paulie, how many porn dogs can you eat? I'm not joking, and I know I said I wouldn't make fun of Adam until the first, but we already lost Roki, so I'm not jinxing anything. So what's going to happen next? How much lower can we get? There's always a deeper darkness. But I can recall him one time. Paulie and I submitted a receipt. We left fantasy camp on Friday, and we stopped at Mickey D's, and we were we were so hungry. We ordered a buttload of food. He literally was like, "Is this for just you and Paul?" I was like, "Yes." He's like, "Good God." I was like, "Hey, I don't need to be shamed for my order at McDonald's, bro. Like, we're both away from our wives. No one's watching us. We're in the middle of Gila Bend. Like, nobody knows us there. We can do
Taco Bell.
We can do what we want. Like, he's good. Yeah, two 20-piece McNugget. I'm like, bro, please don't call me and itemize my receipt with me over the phone. All the weight? I was so embarrassed. Thanks, Adam. Well, yeah, that one's going to be tough to sneak by the management, but we will try. We certainly will try.
Need a contestant. We've got one more game of Take on Woods this week. If you want to battle Woods in our musical trivia challenge,
I needed that laugh.
You can call in now 833-288-0973. Chance to win, qualify for our grand prize drawing trip to Las Vegas. See the Scorpions in concert. Call 833-288-0973.
Do they charge you for the extra lube at Explicit? Paulie, how much lube did you need? I have to have it now. I have to. Holy cow. Well, yeah, we needed that laugh. And listen, if you're listening to the program right now, you are a homeowner. I wanted to tell you about Loan Pronto. If you've got high interest debt that you've accumulated, use Loan Pronto. They can wipe it all out right now. Loan Pronto's rapid equity loan makes it easy to pay off all your credit cards. Tackle that 2025 home improvement project. Get cash in your pocket fast. No appraisals, no paperwork, no waiting. With their AI-driven technology, you can get approved and funded in as little as a day. Imagine that. With low fixed rates, lightning fast transfers, you can do it too. Consolidate your debt, improve your home, take control of your finances. Don't wait. Call Loan Pronto now, 619-207-4336, or visit loanpronto.com. Get your free rate quote now with no hard credit pull, 619-207-4336, or go to loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, subject to lender approval, NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
Hamul Casino. Fun above all else.
It's some more baseball talk coming up. Obviously,
I would like to do more porn dog talk, if I'm being honest with you. I could do an hour on that menu alone.
It was a stunner, to be sure.
I mean, the stunner is that you went and scouted it out, really.
Yeah.
That's the stunner.
The most
what
alarming.
It is what you do.
It's what I do.
Have you found any other places that look good around there? Did you just focus on that
I would
place?
like to go back, and Diane Musgrove recommended it to us as well. The Sicilian Butcher. I went there many years ago. It's where they had the Ferris wheel of meatballs we talked about. You guys haven't been, though, have you? And it's really close to where we're staying. So maybe you get an opportunity to get there. Do want to talk more baseball. What are the Padres going to do now?
Right.
Pivot. I mean, they still had stuff to do, but now pitching seems an absolute imperative. If you don't even have Roki Sasaki to your rotation, you're going to have to do something. We can talk about it going forward a little bit, but I do see we've got kind of do a little bit. I see we got a couple contestants on the line right now. It is time to get to today's game of Take on Woods. All right, let's go. This is Joe. Morning. Give me your phone. How you guys doing? I'm okay. Your phone's a little.
Everybody's phone sucks.
Shaky.
I'm beginning to think it's just our phone sucks.
All right, no,
Bluetooth.
I can hear you now.
If you're
I'm
on
good.
Bluetooth, that would help.
All right, Woods has left the room. You are playing to try to qualify for our grand prize drawing. 2-night stay at Planet Hollywood, Las Vegas, and 2 tickets to see the Scorpions and a $100 gas card. Scorpions returning. They've been around 60 years with a new Las Vegas residency at the PH Live, February 27th to March 11th. Planet Hollywood Resort and Casino. Tickets are on sale now at Ticketmaster.com. Our musical trivia contest, you get to go first and pick our category. Here are your choices, Joe. All in. It's 5 2-second songs. They all begin with the word all. Hot takes. 5 songs that all begin with the word take. And rock and roll hits, those are 5 2-second songs that all include the phrase rock and roll. So, pretty easy here. All in, hot takes or rock and roll hits. What do you think you'll be most successful with, Joe?
Let's go all in.
All in. All right. This one, Paulie's going to have to get his DJ hat on because we are going to have 5 2-second songs, and all 5 song titles begin with the word all. You need to name both the title and the artist to score each point. So make sure you're careful. If there's time, we can always come back to an answer if you don't know it and you pass. Joe, are you ready to play?
Yeah, let's go.
Paul, you got your
I'm ready.
Songs ready? All right, let's put 60 seconds on the clock again. All 2-second songs. They all start with the word all, the category all in. Joe, your time begins when Paul plays the first song. Good luck. Let's take on Woods.
All Along the Watchtower, Jimi Hendrix.
That's correct. Song number 2.
Pass.
Song number 3.
Somebody once told me the world is gone.
That is correct. Song number 4.
I'm lying alone with my head on the phone.
Pass.
Let's go to song number 5.
The other one was All Out of Love, Air Supply.
That is. Number 4 was correct. Let's go back to number 2.
That's the last one.
I'm back to the last one.
All That She Wants, and I can't get the artist.
The artist, we're running out of time. Quickly.
All That She Wants is Another Baby.
Oh, it was All That She Wants by Ace of Base. And the one you missed, other one, All Apologies by Nirvana. You got the 3, though, All Along the Watchtower, Jimi Hendrix, All Star by Smash Mouth, and All Out of Love by Air Supply. This one could be interesting. Stay on the line, Joe. See how you match up against Woodsy. He doesn't get the category. Probably will figure it out fairly quickly. Let's put, all 2-second songs today.
Oh, wow.
All right, 60 seconds on the clock. Your time begins when Paul plays our first song. Good luck, Woods. Let's take on Joe.
That is Jimi Hendrix, All Along the Watchtower.
Correct. Song number 2.
That's All Apologies by Nirvana.
That is correct. Song number 3.
Somebody once told me
That is
the world is gone.
Smash Mouth, All Star.
Correct. Song number 4.
All Out of Love, Air Supply.
Correct. Song number 5.
All That She Wants by Ace of Base.
Wow.
Damn.
Sorry, Joe. Woods has taken it today with a perfect 5 for 5, 5-3 final.
That's how you
in the
close.
category All In. 5 songs that all begin with the word all.
That's how you close right there, buddy. Whew.
I hadn't heard All That She Wants in a while. I think that one pops.
And somehow even more embarrassed. All That She Wants is Another Baby.
Yeah.
Okay.
You don't like that song?
Mm-mm.
How about Air Supply?
Yeah.
You're okay with that?
Yeah, I like that
right.
song.
We all cringe at Smash Mouth. I get that.
Yeah.
All Apologies, Nirvana.
Great
Classic.
song.
And
Classic.
All Along the Watchtower. Classic.
Fantastic.
Good game today.
David says, I was looking at the chat. David, I don't cheat at Take on Woods, buddy.
He does not.
Come on, bro.
Otherwise, he would always win, and he doesn't.
Yeah, I know. I've gotten smoked. I've gotten smoked recently. I minimize the chat, and I like to challenge myself.
We will. I believe we will continue Take on Woods next week. It'll be incumbent upon our guest, technical director, Frank Marchese, who's going to be in. Italian Paul will be in the studio next week with us while we are broadcasting live from Peoria, Arizona.
Skinny Italian Paul.
Oh, I mean, goodness,
he looks phenomenal.
He just, I believe, hit the 100 pounds.
Yeah, 100 pounds lost
mark,
for him,
or
dude.
he's close to it. I'm so impressed. He put in the work. He has done the work, and he is looking fantastic. He'll be sitting in here while the three of us are out at Padres fantasy camp next week, and hopefully this won't. Today's news is not going to impact the fun that we have next week, which is talking to, Padres legends that are all going to be there, getting those guests. It really is the reason why it's so nice to be sitting there. You just don't know who's going to sit down at our table from segment to segment.
Yeah, it's a blast.
With the stories that they share from, different eras of Padres baseball. Always has a really good time when we've been out there. I'm so glad that I started coming with you last year. That was it was a good call.
Nothing like it, man. So much fun.
All right, we will come back and start looking ahead at what the Padres could pivot to in light of today's Roki Sasaki, at least reporting, if not official news. First, though, before anything happens this weekend with football, playoffs in pro football, the college football championship game, download the Prize Picks app so you can start putting together your own daily fantasy sports lineups and winning real money. There are over 10 million users with Prize Picks. That was big to me. I wanted to make sure that this wasn't a fly-by-night operation. A lot of people using it, lots of winnings, over billions. In fact, $6 billion have been given out so far with Prize Picks. And all you have to do is pick more or less on between 2 and 6 player stat projections to win up to 1,000 times your cash with Prize Picks. This weekend, you can look for options like passing yards for Patrick Mahomes, rushing yards for Derrick Henry. You can look at sack totals if you like to watch the defensive play, field goals. There's more or less. There are stats for everybody. Combine them together and win real money. So download the app, use the code KWFN, get $50 instantly when you play your first $5 lineup. That's $50 instantly when you play your first $5 lineup. With Prize Picks, run your game. Must be present in certain states. Visit prizepicks.com for details. Oh, we just had another interesting development in the Roki Sasaki sweepstakes. Of course, we've been following this morning. The Padres reportedly are going to move on and sign some of their other international draft prospects, meaning they're almost certainly out of the Roki Sasaki sweepstakes. But just now, the Toronto Blue Jays just announced, official from their account, we've acquired outfielder Miles Straw, cash, and international bonus signing pool space for the 2025 period from the Cleveland Guardians in exchange for a player to be named later or cash. And that makes me go,
Easy, Arsenio.
Well, I mean, the Blue Jays are adding some extra space.
They have the chance to do the funniest thing of all time and grab Roki Sasaki. And then
$2 million in space, according to Ben Nicholson-Smith.
Paulie, if this happens, just know I got to pull over on the side of the road and start unloading bookmarks again. I'm going to have to pull over because I can't.
We'll switch.
You drive, and I'll just spend the rest of the time just.
Nicholson-Smith is a reporter from Sportsnet in Canada, and he says, it's $2 million. Now, he says this doesn't mean Roki Sasaki has made a decision, but the Jays are clearly making the final preparations if he does choose them and would add him. So this is a very interesting development. I mean, it doesn't change anything for the Padres.
No, nothing.
Other than we'll all feel a little bit better, I think, if he goes to Toronto rather than the Dodgers.
That's a lot of dough. That's a lot of dough to get at the last minute.
Yeah, I mean, Miles Straw, they're getting Miles Straw in the deal. It's Cole Glover, so... there's maybe other reasons why they pulled off the trade, but
Toronto fans have had it about as bad as Padres fans have in recent years with the, getting close and things like that. I mean, there was a rumor that Shohei left their building like decked out in Blue Jays gear and had a bag full of gear. He had his dog with him and everything. And next thing you know, he goes to the Dodgers. We all obviously saw Roki throwing at Petco Park in Padres gear, probably because he didn't have any other workout gear to throw in. And that's what he threw in. So, but yeah, this will be a nice dub for the Blue Jays.
I mean, how do we react if they said he really wanted the opportunity to explore the Canada market and wanted to be in Canada? Neither the Dodgers or the Padres can offer Canada.
Correct.
Yeah. Sasaki.
Here's Canada. All of it. You own it. All the endorsements.
Didn't feel like that was going to be the big selling point, but the Blue Jays don't have a ton of great Roki things to offer in terms of location, pitching development history. They finished, I think, last place last year in the AL East, winning all the things that they said that Roki was looking for in his. They didn't tick many boxes, which is why it was always a surprise that they were even in there. Which must make you think there was something very compelling about Toronto that wasn't part of his original plan, and maybe it's as simple of the fact that it's Canada. It's like a whole nother country.
It's a whole nother country
to be a huge star in, rather than this country, which is. Which would be an interesting development.
It'd be an interesting development. It'd be, you look at it like Kevin said in the chat. He goes, "Well, I think it shows we're cooked as an organization. If that is his alternate, if he ends up going to Toronto over San Diego, but
the Dodgers also cooked.
Yeah, see, that's the thing.
Obviously not. But
Andy's right. It does feel weird that the Padres were third. It does. It does. Out of those three, you wouldn't expect to finish third, but here we are.
Where were the Blue Jays when everyone was like, it's 80-20 Padres or Dodgers or Padres? It's pretty much only them. Like, where were the Blue Jays ever in those early guesses by all the insiders?
I know. Yeah, didn't see much of it. That's for sure.
Interesting. So anyway, whatever Roki decides, Padres are going to have to move on. They did. We talked about Martín Maldonado and why that's not a needle mover for the Padres in terms of a signing. Did add the veteran catcher, 38-year-old, to a minor league deal with a non-roster invitation to spring training. Last season, hit 119 with 4 home runs and was released by the White Sox. I mean, when you're getting released by the White Sox, it's not good. Did win a World Series with the Astros, was pretty much their primary catcher in 2022, but was always known as a defensive specialist. But even that at age 38 has taken a step back in recent years. It seems to us, Woods, that Maldonado is coming in as a potential mentor to young catchers like Ethan Salas and Luis Camposano, but can't be viewed as a serious option for any significant playing time for the Padres in 2025.
No, I mean, you'd hope not. I mean, honestly, you'd really hope not. I again, he was playing in winter ball. Somebody did show me a little blurb from an article yesterday. He was playing in winter ball. I mean, he was hitting like 140 in winter ball, guys. So this is not a viable player for the San Diego Padres if they want to make the playoffs. It's not somebody that can get really.
I mean, he doesn't provide more than Brett Sullivan on the field.
No, not really. I mean, it used to be defensively. It used to be, and I don't know, man. This is not one of those lightning in the bottle. Hey, maybe we catch lightning in a bottle, and he's got one more good year in the sun. He's not Jake Taylor, man. It's not happening.
Our friends at Mad Friars also reported another minor league signing by the Padres yesterday. Forrest Wall. Who speed seems to be his best tool. He has 281 career minor league stolen bases and 9 in a couple of MLB cups of coffee. I think I saw with the Diamondbacks and Braves maybe over the years. Mostly a AAA player, but obviously has some speed. And, A.J. Preller's always looking for different tools. I mean, picked up Bryce Johnson, kind of along those lines.
Got a new gig, by the way.
He did.
Yeah, he got signed. Who signed him?
Who was it? Someone got him.
Well, it was earlier in the week.
Was it Toronto? Was it?
Maybe. I can't remember.
Tyler Wade is another one of those guys that, AJ just kind of plucks off the AAA heap and thinks, could serve a role at some point for the Padres. Even, it's not just a 26-man roster. It's a 40-man roster. Although the Padres only have, I think the last count, 34 guys on their 40-man roster.
Yeah, man. There's
so
some room.
I've never known them to go into a spring training, at least not being really close, like 38 or 39.
Pirates.
Pirates is where Bryce Johnson went. So my guess is there are some major league moves still coming, and that's why he's holding so many spaces open. It would be very strange for any team, really, to have that much room on a 40-man roster going into spring training. You always maybe hold a spot or two for a guy who earns a job in camp and is not on your 40-man, but you don't hold 6 spots on your 40-man roster for guys who really impressed you in spring training and, earned a spot on the roster. That doesn't happen. So it tells me that there are still big league moves coming. And we talked a little bit yesterday about the top 50 guys who are still on the market, mentioned some pitching options like the top guys, Jack Flaherty, but Nick Pivetta is still there. Andrew Haney is a guy who's still there. Max Scherzer is available. But John Heyman had a piece in the New York Post yesterday where he wrote, there are still 156 veterans available in free agency looking for a deal. And that agents are starting to get frustrated by the very slow market this offseason.
I bet.
And it's not just the Padres. This is a baseball-wide thing. Yeah, there was big moves early by the Mets and Dodgers and Yankees and some clubs that went out and spent some money on the top guys. But beyond that, it's been incredibly slow moving with not a lot of activity. That number shocked me. 156 major league veterans who remain unsigned as free agents, and we are now less than 4 weeks away from the start of spring training.
That's there's something wrong there, Benny. There really is. I mean, there's some owners out there, and it's not like there's not teams with massive needs. Take the Padres out of it. We have ours. We know ours. We talk about ours ad nauseum. But there are teams that are legit contenders that are like, we're good. We're going to wait for the price to drop. And, sucks for the player, certainly sucks for the agent, obviously. But, there's a lot of talent sitting out there waiting for a home. Jack Flaherty just tweeted a gif of a guy looking at his watch, like any day now, any day. But unfortunately, that's kind of the way negotiations work sometimes.
Did you read the piece by Tom Verducci about the free agency of Corbin Burns?
No.
Sports Illustrated. It was kind of interesting. He was given some behind the scenes access to the process from the player's perspective, from like day one, the season ends and he declares for free agency. And he's like, initially we thought, Baltimore had a good year here. Maybe we'd come back. Some East Coast teams like the Yankees and the Blue Jays and the Red Sox showed some really early interest, but there really aren't that many actual physical offers that you get. And he went through with Scott Boras, sat down for like 2 hours during the World Series in a game and, wrote out a list of their priorities. Like, what are you looking for? Family-wise, financially, what would be your ideal? And he made some lists of teams that he was interested in, and he wanted, above all, to not disrupt his family's life. They live in Scottsdale in the offseason.
No brainer.
And all of a sudden, in December, like out of the blue, got a call from the Arizona Diamondbacks, and he was like, it was hard to contain his excitement. Like, I could actually stay in my house in Scottsdale for the season, for spring training.
Yeah.
My family doesn't have to go anywhere, and they're going to offer me a contract that's competitive, $210 million. It sounded like he could not get to the pen fast enough to sign that deal with the Arizona Diamondbacks once it was offered. But it was a good window into seeing that there are a lot of different things that motivate free agents beyond just the dollar figure and how much money that they can get.
What are the terms of his deal? How many years did he get?
6, 210, but he's got an opt-out after 2, I believe.
Yeah.
So, there is some flexibility there if he doesn't like the direction of the Diamondbacks, or if he has 2 great seasons, he could hit free agency again and try to cash in again on the market. But, he talked about how, he would have to, in Baltimore on the road all season long, he would Zoom with his kids in the morning, like you kind of do, a quick, hey, have a good day at school, have a, daddy misses you, and, I'll be home in a few weeks and we'll see you. And now he's like, I'm going to, and other than the days when we're on the road, which is, about still 80 days of the year, I'm going to be able to send him off to school every single morning, spring training, regular season. It's like a dream come true, he said, for him. And I thought it was a really interesting piece.
Yeah, I mean, that means something, certainly. He's going to get paid wherever he goes. But, yeah, the not having to uproot your family, being right there. I wonder if he left money on the table. He made a pretty penny, but
probably a little bit, though.
Probably a little bit. But, yeah, I mean, that's good.
So,
nice. Great. I'm so glad the Diamondbacks were able to land him.
These free agency,
good for him.
I'm sure there's some people who would much rather be in San Diego than other places as well.
100%.
But it's just interesting into the mindset of free agents and what they're really looking for on the market. All right, we're going to check traffic, and then we'll continue on. We still got more to get to. Quick check of traffic here on 97.3 The Fan.
From the 855 Get Ross Traffic Center, protecting San Diego after accidents or injury, here's Kelly Danick.
Just one problem here, guys. Stalled car on northbound 163 past Claremont Mesa Boulevard. They're trying to get that out of middle lane, so just watch out for the activity there. Fortunately, no other trouble spots on our roads at this time. I'm Kelly Danick with Ben and Woods, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
Don't forget, the biggest fan contest is returning on January 27th. Our grand prize is a night in the Odyssey Suite with 20 tickets for you and your friends at a future Padres game. Just register your name at 973thefan, sd.com/biggest-fan. You can do that right now if you wanted. And then listen when we start announcing names on the 27th, each day at 9 a.m., 1 p.m., and 5:30 p.m. For your chance to then qualify for the grand prize drawing.
It's Friday.
Well, it's Friday.
It is Friday.
Today, yeah, I'm starting to.
Yeah, you started losing.
Feel the end. It's been a tough, actually 2 weeks.
It's been a rough.
It was a week ago Tuesday that I started losing my voice.
Yeah,
still haven't totally.
It's not totally back.
Come back 100%, but it's just felt like the exhaustion of all of this, the Roki Sasaki watch that seemed never ending. It's taken its toll on me the first 2 weeks.
Yeah, and it's still not over.
It's not.
That's the worst part.
It's not.
The catwalk, yeah.
We got this out of it.
Little turn on the catwalk.
I wouldn't say it's been my favorite 2 weeks ever.
Nowhere to go but up.
That's a good point.
Super fun start to the year.
Looking forward to next week.
Yeah, we'll be all right.
Looking forward to next week.
Hey, man, look. Family's healthy. It's nice out. Like I was telling my wife this week, we still have our home, things like that. There's people out there with no home right now. You know what I mean? Like, no belongings, no anything. So it's all about perspective, and the sun will rise tomorrow, my friends.
Had to wear a mesh shirt.
You did have to wear a mesh shirt. You're going to have to decipher butt rock in about 10 minutes, which is going to be a real fun time.
It's not going to be good. And I'm worried that I'm going to lose this week's picks and have to wear a pitching machine to the back ball.
Yeah, it won't be super hard, but it's going to hurt.
I haven't been hit by a pitch in a long time. Yeah. Never my favorite.
No, it's not great.
Did you see the Mets negotiations with Pete Alonso have apparently stalled or broken down?
Yeah, I don't get it, really. I don't know if it's a thing where Pete Alonso overplayed his hand. I know he had turned down an offer from the Mets, but he is one of the most prodigious home run hitters and one of the most durable players for the New York Mets, it seemed to me with Steve Cohen there, right? And look, there's probably a million things we don't know. How's his relationship with the New York Mets? How's his relationship with his teammates? You have no idea, right? But on the surface, Steve Cohen's your owner. You were pretty close last year. Let's bring back our first baseman that hits tanks. Even though he had a down year for him last year, still, let's bring him back on a 5-year deal and let's keep rolling. I think I'd be pretty pissed if I was a Mets fan, not bringing Pete back. And again, he hits free agency. His agent, Scott Boras. We're in that game again where it's like, no, you're overvaluing Pete Alonso. We're not going to pay the premium. But I don't know, man. I think Steve Cohen should be able to do it.
I think that can work both ways, though. That, if Mets fans are thinking, I mean, you can afford it. Why not just pay him?
Just bring him back.
I would think Pete Alonso and his agent are also going like, why not ask for the moon? I mean, we know you can afford it and you can pay it, so why am I bringing my price tag down at all for the New York Mets? And I think in instances like that, you can get to an impasse. Like when the player is insisting, I know you can afford it, so I'm not budging on my deal. And the team makes what they think is a fair offer, and they're going like, I mean, we shouldn't have to overpay you to stay here in New York. You're not getting offers from other places. Why are we increasing our offer to you? Eventually, you're going to get desperate and you're going to sign.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's where we are with the Mets and Pete Alonso. Both sides are like not budging because Pete's going, I know you can afford it. I'm not lowering my asking price. And the Mets are going, you have nowhere else to go.
Nobody else is going to pay you.
We're not going to pay you anymore.
Yep.
And they're just kind of sitting there and waiting each other out.
It's tough, man.
At the end of the day.
It's a tough position to be in.
Passan just posted.
Did he?
You see Jeff Passan post, the notification comes across, heart stops for a second, but careful, it's not Roki yet. Outfielder Jarren Duran and the Red Sox are in agreement on a 1-year, $3.85 million deal that includes a club option for $8 million in 2026.
So they had not settled before the arbitration deadline and exchanged their numbers, similar to Michael King with the San Diego Padres. I was trying to look at it. Who else settled yesterday? It was. I can't remember, but another big
Kyle Tucker.
Kyle Tucker. That's right.
With
with the Cubs settled for around $16 million or something yesterday.
I got it right.
Which
here,
is
16.5.
Yeah, so it is possible after the numbers have been exchanged to actually reach an agreement in arbitration. Remember, with Michael King, he has asked for $8.8 million in arbitration. The Padres have countered with $7.325 million.
I'm going to say it probably behooves the Padres to get that done ASAP. Like today would be a great day to agree with Michael King in principle.
I mean, there really is no rush on it. Yeah, the worst that can happen is King wins and he gets 8.8, and then the Padres are going, we should have offered him 8.7. We could have saved $100,000 for King.
You don't think they need a little, small, tiny dub today?
I just don't think
a good day.
Is that a dub? I mean, he's on the team this year.
Yeah.
It doesn't change the roster at all. It doesn't add a player.
But you don't want to go. You don't want your first. If you're AJ Preller, you don't want your first. You don't want to have to go to ARB. You know what I mean?
The real dub is we're throwing this out. We've extended Michael King for 4 years.
That would be a nice
huge
dub.
That
would be a nice dub.
A huge dub, which is also within the realm of possibility.
Correct.
But yeah, I see what you're saying. I'll offer him 8.3.
Right.
Right. I mean, you could lose, and that could mean you saved $500,000. Now, Michael King has to agree to it. Maybe he's supremely confident he's going to win his hearing, and he doesn't want to accept $1 less than 8.8. If that's the case, then you're probably not going to get an agreement. There's got to be at least some wiggle room on both sides if there's going to be a settlement before an arbitration hearing. Yeah. But, the more you go in one direction, you got to feel at some point there is a risk to going to arbitration. For Michael King, you could lose, $1.5 million essentially if you lose your arbitration hearing. So if they're offering you close to what you're asking for, then you take the bird in the hand, the safe bet, and you make your 8 something and you go on. Don't know if the Padres are thinking about offering that, but we're still, I think, a few weeks away from the actual hearings taking place. But as you saw in the last couple of days with Kyle Tucker and now Jarren Duran, you can get it done, before you actually have to sit in a I don't think it's actually a courtroom. I think it's just a conference room somewhere with the 3 arbiters and make your cases. But it's something that AJ Preller has not done. My guess is probably not going to be very good at it either because he's never done it.
Never done it.
So there's a good chance they lose when they go up against Michael King. I don't know who's Michael King's agent. Do
I
you
don't know.
Yeah, probably has gone to arbitration 1 or 2 times in his career. So my guess is that if I was a betting man, this is not going to be something that AJ and his team are particularly good at, having never done it.
Never done it, doesn't want to do it, loathes it, as Kevin Acey
loves
reported.
Loves his players. So my guess is he's going to be pretty bad at it. He's going to pull his punches a little bit, and that'll probably cost him in the end. So maybe just make that deal and get it done with Michael King. All right, so you've got a whole new genre for me to decipher.
Oh, this is...
I cannot wait.
Give me a pen.
We needed some laughs.
I'm not good at this game, but
Ben deciphers butt rock.
Coming up next here on 97.3 The Fan.
Yeah, I got inspired yesterday, Benjamin. And we've done Ben Decipher's Grunge. What else have we done with him, Paulie?
We did,
mumble
both
rap.
Of you guys did mumble
rap. That was very difficult. Yeah, and we needed a laugh today. I didn't know that this news was going to come down. It just so happened that Paulie had mentioned a song yesterday called Lips of an Angel by a band called Hinder. And Paulie had gotten it in his head. Well, then once I heard it, I had to go listen to it again. Then I got in a huge rabbit hole of butt rock. And butt rock, as it is referred to, it's interesting because if this is true, I love this. Some say the term originated from a radio station that promoted itself as being nothing but rock. Like, all right, guys, it's 97.3 The Machine. Here we go with we play nothing but rock. Here's some Creed. And there was this really weird time in music.
Sports.
What?
We're butt sports.
Yeah, we're butt sports. That's right.
Nothing but sports.
Butt sports.
The Padres have slayed the dragon. Listen to 97.3 The Fan. Nothing but sports.
Nothing but sports. So it's like the 2000s, and it's categorized, Ben. It's a derogatory term.
Really?
A subgenre of rock and roll that some say lacks artistic merit and melodic complexity.
Thought it was just a term of endearment and appreciation.
The term is often used to describe artists who use raspy vocals or overly angsty lyrics. So there was this weird, like...
You've got a raspy voice.
Grunge ended, and it was like,
Probably
all
like
right.
5, 6, 7 years.
Yeah. And then it was like, these bands came out, and here was the weird thing for me. So I was in sales and radio at the time, and I worked for a station that pivoted from like the AC/DC classic rock thing into hardcore. I mean, Puddle of Mud, Stained, Creed, Nickelback, all of it. And I was in sales then, so I was selling the station. So when we'd go to all right, guys, we got our big annual concert coming up. Stained is your headliner. Puddle of Mud is going to be on there. I've seen them all. I mean, I saw all of them. We had to listen. I mean, it's the station we worked on. That's what we listened to. And I guess I never realized how difficult it is to decipher. So I thought it'd be a fun exercise for you.
Let's see. How many songs do we have here, Paulie?
5. Just 5. 5 little butt rock songs for you.
Get ready to listen. Remember, I need a couple. I'll take some notes, and then I'll give you my final answer after the second go through.
All right, here we go.
All right, so
song number 1.
All right. Okay, I'm writing down a couple of words that I thought I heard. Who is this?
This is Buck Cherry.
Okay, Buck Cherry.
And the song, all right, I'm not going to tell you the song.
Okay. Okay, I guess I'm on and off again. I love your flying. I'm knocking.
No.
One more time, please.
What? I guess I'm on and off again. I'm flying high, I'm knocking. No, not quite right at the end.
No.
Wasn't that far off, was I?
Yeah, massively.
You weren't really close at all.
And yes, I'm all lit up again.
I'm all lit up again.
I love the cocaine. I love the cocaine.
I love the cocaine. Cocaine. Got it. Okay.
Save that.
And what's that called?
It's called Lit Up.
Lit Up
By Buck Cherry.
Buck Cherry.
That was. Right. I thought I started with the easiest one. So they're going to get
That's
harder.
the easy one. I heard almost nothing of that one. All right, let me put my... Okay.
Number 2.
She calls me Goliath and I wear the David mask. I guess the stones are coming too fast for her now.
Okay, I got some of that.
All right.
She calls me Goliath and I wear the David mask. I guess the stones are coming too fast for her now.
By the way, I've heard that song a billion. I saw them play that to me in a conference room, which was really uncomfortable, on acoustic guitars. Had no idea what they said until I looked it up this morning.
All right, here's what I got. She calls me a liar the way I wear the David mask. I guess the Stones are coming to best the... And I couldn't quite make it out at the end.
You're so close.
That was pretty good.
She calls me Goliath, and I wear the David mask.
Wait, the David Mask was right?
The David Mask was right.
I thought that had the least chance
David
of
and
being
Goliath.
right. Okay.
She calls me Goliath, and I wear the David Mask. I guess the Stones are coming too fast for her now.
Okay, they guessed the Stones.
Yeah.
That was actually one of my all-time better guesses.
All right, this is...
Okay, who was that again?
That was 7 Mary 3, and the song is Cumbersome.
7 Mary 3.
Yeah,
All right.
did pretty good there.
All right, number 3.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I know that's Creed.
It is Creed.
And I actually think I know the first half of the lyric, but the second half I need to hear again. So let me hear it one more time.
This is just the second part?
No, just... Okay. I mean, that's Higher by Creed.
Yes.
Can you take me higher to a place with golden trees?
So close.
Oh. Was it golden tea like the golf game?
Nope. Try again.
'Cause
Golden.
I like playing golden tea.
To a place with golden
trees, tea, golden.
No, it's not a T.
Golden. It's definitely a T sound. No, it's not. One more time, Polly, at the end.
Oh.
Nope.
Still hear trees.
Streets.
Streets.
Yeah.
Ah,
so close.
All right.
Yeah.
Sort of.
It kind of sounds like he says streams, but that would.
I hear trees.
That would be weird. Place with. That would be weird.
I just want to go to a place with golden tea.
Okay. All right. Now this one.
Okay.
I had to include my beloved Deftones because they had some butt rock in them back in the day. No way he gets that second part. No chance.
I got a little bit of it, but I thought the first part was just as hard. All right, give it to me one more time. I don't know.
No idea.
I watched a train, and it's like you never have wings.
Oh my God, that's
very
pretty good. No, it's close. I watched a change.
A change? Oh, that makes more sense.
In you. It's like you never had wings.
Oh,
yeah, pretty good.
Fairly well on that one.
We have a little butt rock aficionado over here on our hands.
Wow. All right. This is definitely. I've definitely done better on this than I did on any of our other ones.
I will give you $1 billion if you get the next one. If you get the next one with 100% certainty,
okay.
I will give you $1 billion.
I want
deferred.
3 listens.
It's deferred.
Yes,
but I will give it to you. Is that it?
I got one. I definitely thought I heard at least one of the words. That's a short one. I'm getting close here. I'm getting close. Give me one more, and I'll give you my answer.
What is he even saying?
I'm going to break down in agony and ecstasy in overtime.
Oh, you were so close.
I was?
A breakdown agony said ecstasy and overdrive. You almost had
$1 billion.
$1 billion.
Not bad. Who was that?
That was White Zombie, Thunder Kiss.
Huh.
All those songs, by the way, you could hear it explicit. Like this weekend.
Yeah.
Like every single one of those I've seen in Put in Action. You did really well at Ben DeCipher's Butt Rock. Very well.
This is definitely
this
the
is
best
your
I've
genre.
ever played in this game.
This is your
I don't hate the genre, that's for sure.
Well, the funny thing is I thought I did. And then I went down that rabbit hole yesterday, and there was a Spotify playlist called Butt Rock Bangers. And I've been listening to it my wife walked in this morning, I was in the shower, and Creed Higher was on. She goes, "What are you doing?" I go, "Well, it's for a bit, but I'm also finding myself weirdly into this Stained and Creed world that I was in for a day or two.
Is my beloved Papa Roach considered butt
rock? Yeah.
I would think so,
oh,
right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's right around that same time. It was a weird time in music, but I think I'm into it. Paulie, maybe for the drive today, we get a little bit of butt rock bangers.
I'm in.
All right, let's go. Let's go. I'm excited. It was great. You did really well. You did really well.
It really is stripper music, though.
It really is. Dancer. Exotic dancer.
I prefer when they do the 80s music that I can...
Like what?
Like I know the words, too. Just,
Like Christopher Cross?
Right.
No. It's got to be a little
like hair metal or
Madonna or
Madonna.
Isn't that
a dancer dancing to Madonna? Maybe.
I would think so.
I don't know. We'll check it out this weekend. That was great. You did really well.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
Appreciate it.
Any update?
No, I have not gotten any more updates on Roki Sasaki.
All right. Well, Paulie will have a Rindle report coming up real soon. We will get out of here and drive to Arizona to Fantasy Camp. Make sure you tune in on Tuesday as we'll be back on the air.
Whole station off on Monday.
Whole station's off on Monday. Don't yell at us. It's a national holiday, so we'll be off.
Yell at Martin Luther King.
Yeah, that's right.
If you want to be mad at someone.
Matt, you don't be mad at us, man. I mean, we're told to take the day off.
He didn't make that a holiday.
No, he didn't.
All right, that means we got 4 NFL playoff games and the college football championship.
That's right.
So let's review our picks and what we think about the games coming up, and then we'll finish up with the Rindle report. And obviously, if there's any more news from baseball, of course, we will have it for you.
That's exactly right, my friends, and good news for you. Underdog available to play right here in California now. The best place to cash in on all your takes during the playoffs. Which players will go off? Which ones are ice cold? Over 5 million happy players, $2 billion won. Underdog makes it fun and easy to cash in on all your favorite athletes' performances. There should be some really, really good performances this weekend in the NFL playoffs. How good will they be? That's up for you to decide. Higher or lower on player stats, yards, touchdowns, interceptions, and more. You can mix and match with football, basketball, college football on Monday. Listen, there's a lot at your fingertips there. And go to Underdog today. I've been having such a blast. I will post my Underdog selections on my Twitter feed this week, and we can all play together. Be great. Underdog, the best place to play. Pick 'em. If you download the app, make sure you sign up with the promo code WOODS and make a deposit today. You'll get up to $1,000 in bonus cash instantly. Use the promo code WOODS when you do sign up. Must be 18 and over, present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit ncpgambling.org.
Hamul Casino. Fun above all else.
Had a little local college basketball last night. UCSD Tritons bounced back from their loss to UC Irvine. Interesting situation, though, Woods. They went up to play Long Beach State on the beach. Always plays in the pyramid. You might be able to see it from the 405. It's a pyramid-shaped arena. But they got there, and they said, we got a problem. I don't know what the problem was, but the facility was like they're unavailable or something. So they had to move over to like an auxiliary gym and play an actual Big West basketball game in front of, just like
interesting
5 rows of bleachers and pack them in there, and they absolutely destroyed.
It's like Paulie at the
Long
Tier
Beach
1
State.
games.
Yeah. It looked kind of like the gym at USIU where you play your games. They just went and played a real Division I college basketball game in this little side student gym, which was really weird. But the Tritons didn't let it bother them and ended up cruising to an 80-54 win. USD also played last night at home at the Jenny Craig Pavilion, hosting Washington State. Remember, the Cougs are playing their basketball in the WCC this year along with Oregon State because they don't have a conference anymore with all the other Pac-12 teams gone.
Yep.
And Wazoo jumped out to like a 13-0 lead, and it looked like USD was going to get absolutely bodied again. And then they came back, and I don't know if you saw it on social media. But there was a freshman for USD, and what was his name? It's from Carlsbad High School. His name was Tony Duckett. Had 2 poster dunks, like Sports Center top 10, over 2 big guys, one hand, tomahawk, throw it down. Absolutely crazy dunks. He's not that tall. He's like a 6'5" guard, and just went up, and like 2 of these, you don't usually see that. They rallied, took the lead, were up like with a couple minutes to go, and then blew it. And Washington State went on a late run to win 65-61, unfortunately. So it's been a tough season for Steve Lavin's team at USD. They play at LMU on Saturday. UCSD plays at UC Riverside. And, of course, the Aztecs return to action tomorrow for Brian Dutcher bobblehead night. We have one
I think we have
reserved
one
for us, hopefully.
Yeah. Yes.
5 o'clock against UNLV at Viejas Arena. They were Joe Lunardi had the Aztecs as a 9 seed in his new bracketology this morning, which is always a tough place to be because even if you win that first game, I think he had them going up against Duke in the second round in Cooper Flag. So you want to win a few and get yourself off the 8-9 line at least if the NCAA tournament, if you have dreams of making a deep run in March Madness. So that's a little college basketball update, but we're going to turn our attention to football this weekend for sure. Made our picks yesterday for the 4 divisional round matchups in the NFL playoffs.
Give me the schedules, would you?
All right, so here's your schedule again. Tomorrow, it starts out with Texans at Chiefs at 1:30, and that's ABC and ESPN. And I do believe we have some, if not all of these games on 97.3 The Fan. Every single one of them you can hear right here on 97.3 The Fan. Fantastic.
You're home for football.
Let's see. And then Paulie put our picks down that we made yesterday here. So let's see. I took the Chiefs. Woods, you took the Texans.
And the points, yep.
And Paulie and I took the Chiefs in that one. And then tomorrow's second game is Commanders at Lions, 5 p.m., Fox and 97.3 The Fan. I've got the Commanders. Woods, you've got the Commanders and the points. Paulie is taking the Detroit Lions. And we had Daniel Jeremiah on earlier. He seemed pretty high on the Lions in that one.
I mean, I'll be elated. I love them, too. That's another team I really enjoy watching, so I'm not going to be mad.
I'm holding out. Maybe it's a little bit of pride, but I'm holding out for a Detroit and then whoever wins Buffalo and Baltimore for the Super Bowl.
That would be a good Super Bowl.
Yeah, no doubt.
I mean, Detroit, Kansas City wouldn't be a terrible Super Bowl either. I
think everyone's got
people are tired.
Kansas City lash, but
tired.
But it's cool seeing them
you
try
got a
to
team
defend
going for
it.
a three-peat, and you're either rooting for them or rooting for
There's
them
a
to
compelling
fail.
story there going for the three-peat for Kansas City, but I'm not unhappy if Buffalo or Baltimore is playing for the Super Bowl. And then Sunday, first game is going to be Rams-Eagles at noon. That's on NBC. I took the Rams. Woodsy, you took the Eagles.
Yep.
Paulie's with me on the Rams, getting the points in that one. Cross country on the road. It's supposed to be very cold everywhere on the East Coast this weekend, Philly included. And then it wraps up with the big game, the Ravens at the Bills. And the Ravens actually favored still on the road at 3:30 CBS and here on 97.3 The Fan. Woods and Ben on the Ravens, Paulie on the Bills.
Yep.
With that one. So
loser has to wear a pitch from the machine.
So you're just going to turn your back and stand on home plate and just
pretty
wear
much.
one.
Can you aim it at the rump?
What if
or
it
is go right to the back
at the butt?
Yeah.
Yeah, don't say rump.
Don't say rump.
Rump is weird.
That's weird.
Yes, just say butt. Rump.
Ass.
Ass.
The rump area.
He won't say it. The butt area. And you can, watch a couple and then just jump in front of one if you want. You can get hit in the arm. You just got to wear one.
Time it up.
Just got to wear it. It's not going to feel good.
I don't want it in the arm. I don't want anything that's going to damage my golf.
What if it hits you in the spine?
That's what I'm worried about too. That's why I was thinking about the rump.
They may not let us do it, but
You're going to have to sign a waiver.
We'll figure it out. If you lose, I'll just throw one at you.
Thanks.
I don't throw that hard anymore.
I
at
know.
all. And you definitely don't. So I'll take one from you.
I don't trust your control as much as I trust. I don't want to get hit in the head.
Oh, I can hit guys. I can.
You can.
Oh, yeah. I can hit.
How come you can't hit the strike zone
It's a
when
great
Trevor
question.
Hoffman's heckling you, but you can hit guys?
If I hit... How many do I hit a year at fantasy camp? The over's 5.5.
It's like 3 a game.
It's at least 3 a game. I just dot people.
Is it always right-handers that you hit, or do you sometimes hit lefties?
I can't even pitch to a lefty. I have no idea how to throw to a left-handed hitter. I get at this advanced age. If you're a lefty, you're in good shape. I'm going to walk you on 4 pitches.
That's exciting news for everyone who's listening, who's heading to fantasy camp. If you're facing Woods, prepare. Prepare to get dotted.
I don't want to pitch. I do not want to pitch at all. I just want to play first.
But don't charge them out. He's definitely not doing it on
purpose.
purpose.
No, not doing it on purpose. I just can't pitch.
Doesn't have the control.
Yeah.
And then Monday, got the college football championship game from Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta. The Notre Dame Fighting Irish taking on the Ohio State Buckeyes. What's the latest line? 8?
I thought it was more.
Is it even more than that?
I think I got it at 8.5.
8.5. Notre
Irish,
Dame is the underdog.
Heavy dog. And now we're going to be together.
Yeah, I should be there by then.
Okay.
Going to drive over on Monday.
I don't know that I want to watch it with you.
You don't have to.
You're going to be rooting against me.
I'm not rooting against you.
You said that you were rooting for me, but I know you.
I just don't really have any love for Ohio State.
I know. I definitely don't.
And I do like Marcus Freeman.
Yeah.
If there's one person in the entire game on Monday that it's hard not to like, it's Marcus Freeman.
Yeah.
Felt like he's not your typical college football coach and certainly not your typical Notre Dame coach.
Not even close.
No.
It's been a very refreshing hire. Very refreshing.
I mean, he was he got the job after Brian Kelly left.
Yep.
And he was he just an assistant?
Yeah, he was an assistant.
And he was promoted from within. Young guy.
Yep, young dude.
They didn't go the old, let's get the biggest name we can. Let's get the old white guy. They're Lou Holtz in here.
Yeah, Charlie Weiss,
They actually took a chance, a risk. I'm sure there were some boosters who were going, no. This is not, we're not doing this. We're not just promoting our coordinator and making this guy with no experience as the head coach of Notre Dame.
What a pick. What a pick.
And it's worked out brilliantly.
Yeah, beautifully. beautifully. Well, he's already won more big games than Brian Kelly ever won, and with a lot less bluster and a lot less ego. And yeah, man, it's a big one. I mean, look, this has the potential to be a really crap sports week for your boy, right? This news this morning, and then that on Monday. My buddy Sean tweeted earlier. He's like, "We need that Irish win more than ever." Yeah, I could use a dub for sure.
I know you though, and you feel like this is kind of gravy at this point for Notre Dame.
To this point, no. Now that you've made it there, because here's the thing: people like you and other people will never respect Notre Dame until they hoist it. It's not the Final Four in basketball. How much love do you give San Diego State for making the Final Four? So much, right?
Yeah,
that's like, but mission accomplished. You will not give the same love to Notre Dame if they keep it close.
I see what you're saying.
Because you may, but others will be like, knew it, I knew it, yeah, right?
I know how you feel.
They've undoubtedly done a better job.
Yes, you have to hoist
in remaining nationally relevant than their biggest rivals.
Yeah.
Schools like USC.
100%.
Who have failed miserably at staying, other than, the USC brand, but in actual, terms of competitiveness, Notre Dame has gotten further more often than teams like USC.
Yeah, and so, but no one will respect them unless they hold it up. Even if they keep it close, If they lose, it'll be they never belonged.
But if you win,
suck it. I mean, suck it.
And 1988 was the last one.
Nobody can say a word. If you win,
you've got at least a decade or more.
After Indiana, Penn State, Georgia, and Ohio State, nobody's saying a word. You can't say a word. I will be insufferable. More insufferable. Actually, I won't be. I'll just be really happy and elated. So, yeah, it's a big one Monday.
That's what we got to look forward to this weekend before we rejoin you on Tuesday. Still, we got one more segment, though. Paulie's got some bright news for us from the world of college basketball and more in our Roundel Report. That's how we're going to finish things up here on Ben and Woods. First, though, Woods and I want to tell you again about trust and will. Over the holidays, we were kind of presented with what trust and will is, and neither of us had really given a lot of thought to our personal documents, our legacies, what would happen if something happened to us and we were gone. Honestly, I didn't think it was that big of a deal, and then I learned it really is a big deal. Even if you don't feel like you've got a ton to leave, you can save your family a giant hassle. Court costs, fees, probate fees as well, just by putting together a simple document online in a few minutes.
Yeah, and look, even with a will, probate is unavoidable. So only a trust can help you bypass that entirely. And that's not something you want your family involved in. And again, the drama that can ensue when someone passes away, you don't want that either. So make it very explicit what your wishes are by going to trustandwill.com. Use the promo code San Diego. It's all one word, and you'll get 10% off plus free shipping of your estate plan documents by, again, going to trustandwill.com. Use the code San Diego.
Another benefit is possibly saving big on property taxes. If the title has to transfer and they reassess the value, you could be leaving your loved ones with a huge property tax increase. There are ways to avoid that just by going to trustandwill.com and setting your wishes in order. So again, as Wood said, use the code San Diego, all one word at checkout. Get 10% off and get your documents shipped free at trustandwill.com. That's trustandwill.com. You know, the Padres aren't the only local team in the torture chamber right now. Not getting nearly as much attention, but it's been a rough offseason for the San Diego Wave, who traded Jaden Shaw, their young 19-year-old superstar, to North Carolina after she requested out. And now the rumors are that they're planning to sell Naomi Girma, their huge defensive star, perhaps to a European club for like $1 million. Wow. Since they had the best record in the league a year ago, and just everything just went to pieces this last year. And now there's been this giant exodus. I mean, they still have good players, and hopefully they can bounce back with a new coach this year. But you talk about a team that was just on a meteoric rise, like 2 years, and they shot right up to the top of the NWSL. And then whatever happened, the engine just stalled out, and they've been in a nosedive for the last few months. It's been tough to watch. So, sympathies out there. Padres aren't the only fan base going through it right now in San Diego.
Doesn't give me any. It doesn't make me feel better.
It's not. Misery loves company. I get that.
Tell me more about why our town sucks right now for sports. Let's all just join in together. Hate it. Hate days like this.
Yeah.
At least I have a 6-hour drive to look down the barrel of. That's good. But we'll have fun. Me and Paulie always have fun.
You will
on the
have
drive.
time.
Yeah.
And I will see you on Monday.
At least my wife hasn't made me feel completely and totally guilty, like a terrible father and husband for leaving. That's good. At least Bo wasn't weeping openly about me leaving.
Because you've already said goodbye. You're going straight from here.
Yeah, we're leaving straight from here. He was so disappointed.
So you're really feeling the Friday afternoon right now.
Oh yeah.
Last you're watching the clock ticking, less than 20 minutes to go.
Yeah.
And then as soon as we're done, you guys are out the door and on vacation essentially.
I want that burrito from Mr. G's in Yuma. And
what do you get? The bean and cheese?
Yeah, bean and cheese, and then I get a carne asada too. It's really good there.
They're small, so you can get a couple and not feel like you've overindulged.
And I want a cinnamon zin in my mouth, and so I have to wait like 3 hours to get there. But yeah, it was kind of a bummer. Bo was really upset I was leaving. Taylor did not care. I said, "I'll see you in a week, buddy." He goes, "All right."
Cool.
Yeah, literally, couldn't have cared less. And Bo was a wreck about it. So I actually think Hannah's picking him up from school early today. This is how much of a wreck he is. So,
ouch.
Yeah, not a good morning.
All right, we will let Paulie take the reins the rest of the way. The Rindle Report coming up after our last check of traffic here on 97.3 The Fan.
From the 855 Get Ross Traffic Center, protecting San Diego after accidents or injury, here's Kelly Danek.
Got a few problems wrapping up our morning drive. 2-car collision on northbound 5 just before the 8. It's over the right shoulder, then just up ahead before SeaWorld Drive. Collision involving a motorcycle. This appears to be over to the right shoulder. Southbound 805 just past Bonita. Watch out for what looks like it was a box spring in its better days. It's in the fast lane at southbound side of the 805 just past Bonita. I'm Kelly Danek with Ben & Woods, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
And get things started here with our
Today's edition of the Reindl Report.
Now tuned into the greatest.
Welcome to the Reindl Report with Paul Reindl.
Hi, Paul.
All right.
2 stories from the world of sports that we haven't gotten to yet.
We'll start off in Major League Baseball.
And 1 story that you didn't know you needed.
Are you laughing, biatch?
It's the Reindl Report
Hey, Paul, how you doing?
Okay, how are you?
on 97.3 The Fan.
Are you ready to bless the mood? I need some help, please.
That was good.
Can I get a yeah? Oh, yeah.
All right.
All right. Happy Friday, gentlemen. Yeah, we've tried to have some laughs. We've had nothing but pretty bad sports news most of the morning. Wanted to try to lift our spirits. We got some good news from the world of college basketball. One of the GOATs in sports broadcasting, long time sports broadcaster, friend of the show, Dick Vitale.
Yes.
He has not called a game since 2023 as he's dealt with a long list of health issues over the years, and he has been set to return. He's cleared. He will return to the air on Saturday. He's going to call the Duke and Wake Forest game.
That's fantastic.
Nice.
Big
Not
Irish,
tomorrow.
big
Week from-
Irish
week
fan
from- week
too,
from
buddy.
tomorrow.
It says here he has battled 4 different types of cancer in the past 3 years.
What a badass.
But he announced earlier this month that he is cancer,
Including like vocal cord
Yeah.
cancer, right?
Yeah.
For a guy
Yeah.
who's
Yeah.
all about using the vocal cords. Very impressive that he has come back and wants to work again. So happy for Dickie V.
We need that dub on Monday night for Dickie V too. He's big Irish fan. His daughter went there. I went there at the same time. Well, I didn't go there. I went to Holy Cross, but at the same time.
You went with the young Vital. You were in South Bend at the same time.
I was. Yeah, with a young Vital.
Did not know that.
Yep. I believe her name's Sherry,
Sherry Vital.
if I'm not mistaken.
It's all right. We won't hold it against you
No,
if you
can't
missed
remember.
it slightly.
A little cloudy.
All right, we'll move on.
A lot of those years are for you, aren't they?
Yeah, very much so. Very much.
In the NFL, I think we talked a few weeks back about the NFL moving to Berlin, I think it was. They're playing all over Germany now. They've London, now Germany, and we've got a new international game
why?
that has been announced. It's going to be in Madrid, and the Miami Dolphins will be one of those teams playing in Madrid next season. That was announced by the NFL this morning.
What's the end game? I've been asking this for a decade.
I think it's still moving a team over there.
You can't. It can't work.
I think the end game is that, right now we're at the 17-game schedule, and some teams play 9 home games and some teams play 8.
Okay.
I think the end game is 8 home games, 8 road games,
And one
international game for every
team.
Every team. So you'd have like 16 international games every year. And then if you go to 18, I maybe even expand it more. That's just kind of my guess as to where they're heading. The problem is the NFL knows that these markets that they're bringing football to are pretty starved for football, and they have enough fans over there that they will sell out all of these games. So they always bring the worst teams, it seems like. Every single time.
Who's this one again? Miami?
It's Miami.
It's Miami, and then they haven't announced
The
when
other
this game
team.
will be next season or the other team.
But they announced the Colts for the other game as the home team.
It's like Colts,
It's
Jags,
like if the
Giants, Jags.
It's like the NFL taps you on the shoulder and says you're hosting an international game, like the Jags get one every year. They're just telling you, we've identified you as one of the worst teams next year, and we are sending you
to
overseas.
There's a note here on the ESPN story that the Dolphins and the Chicago Bears hold marketing rights in Spain as part of the league's global markets program, which allows them to hold events and sign commercial deals in those locations.
Okay,
so
it's money.
since Miami's one of the teams, you could probably assume it'll be Chicago.
Yep.
Another bad
I mean,
team.
I remember like one good international game. Was that Mexico City game? Was it Chiefs-Rams?
Oh,
that really good.
We had just started.
Yeah, that was
on
that
the
one
air.
really
Wasn't it like 65 to 60?
Really good Mexico City game. And other than that,
That was unreal.
Feels like the games have always been terrible that they sent to London and everybody else.
Did that game ever? I thought the game didn't get played.
Well, one of them didn't get played,
And
but
then
one of
they
them
did
did
go
get
back.
played. Yeah,
It was
and then
insane. That was in L.A.
the one in Brazil, was that the really good game? The one that got moved? Was
I
that
think they banged it there, and then they moved it to
And then
L.A.
I thought they had one,
So
though,
it's
that
just,
they
I guess
played.
it was technically an international game played
The
in
one
LA.
in Brazil this year wasn't bad. That was Packers-Eagles, right?
I don't
It was
remember.
okay.
I don't remember.
It was week 2 in Brazil. something.
Yeah, that's weird.
Yeah, I don't totally remember exactly if it was a good game or not, but yeah, Dolphins and most likely the Bears.
It's not a needle mover.
Enjoy NFL football, Spain.
In Madrid. I mean, that'd be a fun place to go travel to.
Oh, absolutely.
Better than like Berlin or London, I think. Madrid would be amazing.
A lot of cured meats.
Yes, I love that. That's the
Tapas.
first place your mind goes is to all the different meats.
Then checking menus online.
All the porn dogs you can get over there. All you can eat, buddy.
Mm.
When should we do that? Tuesday? Wednesday? Go have our dinner there?
I don't know. I don't know what your fantasy camp schedule is. For Wednesday, I've got the panel.
Oh yeah, you're doing
and everything.
You're doing
so,
a panel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. And then finally, kind of was waiting on something like this to happen with all the devastating fires going on in Los Angeles. Yesterday, it was officially announced the big benefit concert to raise money for first responders, for the recovery process, all of that. Fire Aid. And it's going to take place on January 30th at... it says 6 p.m. Eastern time, even though it's at the Intuit Dome where the Clippers play. So that is 2 weeks from yesterday, Thursday the 30th. Fire Aid at... I'm sorry. This is and the Kia Forum. So I guess Intuit Dome and the Kia Forum.
They're right next to each other.
Yeah. So I guess it's more like a festival rather than just like one act after another. But so far, the people that have been announced are Lady Gaga will perform, Gwen Stefani, Billie Eilish and Phineas, Jelly Roll, because why not?
Guy's busy, I'll say that.
Okay.
He has to be there.
He doesn't scream like Lady Gaga, Gwen Stefani, Billie Eilish. Like they scream Los Angeles. Like, yeah, I'm sure they live there. I don't know. Maybe Jelly Roll does live there. He didn't scream Los Angeles.
Jelly Roll.
Dave Matthews and John Mayer, again, Los Angeles guy. Earth, Wind and Fire. Gracie Abrams, Joni Mitchell, Katy Perry, Lil Baby, Pink, Red Hot Chili Peppers, Rod Stewart, Steven Stills, Stevie Nicks, Sting, and Tate McRae. Those are all the confirmed artists for Fire Aid. It's going to stream
Carlos. Earth, Wind, and Fire. Yes, Earth, Wind, and Fire. I caught that too.
Maybe it'll just be Earth and Wind for this one.
Ladies and gentlemen, Earth and Wind. Actually, no wind. Ladies and gentlemen, Earth.
Earth.
Okay? The wind and fire is what got them. So we're now Earth.
Fire Aid. It's going to be broadcast in some AMC movie theaters, as well as Apple Music, Apple TV, Max, local television up there, Netflix, Paramount Plus, Prime Video, like every streaming service that you have.
Stream it, and you can donate while you watch and all that. I like those. I like those benefit shows. I think those are
It's
great.
usually because something horrible happens.
Like the Hurricane Katrina and all that. Like, you get some. The 9/11 one was insane. I remember that. But yeah, you want to have fewer of these.
Right.
That means less bad things have happened. But I'll watch some of that for sure.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I still remember the original Live Aid.
Oh, Live Aid, me too, man. It was unbelievable.
Like a memory from childhood.
100%.
And what year was that?
Farm
Like
Aid?
84?
Yeah, it was Queen and I mean Zeppelin reunited and played a Live Aid. It was ungodly good.
We Are the World.
That's different, I think.
We
wasn't
Are
it?
the Children.
Was that was just a single?
Was that just a single? Was it
perform
part
that?
of it?
I don't think.
I don't remember for sure, but it was a
Thank
big
you,
thing
Paulie.
in the 80s
Yeah,
for sure.
Farm Aid was amazing, amazing. So yeah, I'll be all that. I'll do all that. I'll watch it.
I'll watch.
Yeah. All right, gentlemen. Well, that's it for us.
No, it's not.
Oh, so I thought we could leave
6
now.
more minutes.
I'm
No,
out.
that was a disappointingly short edition of the Round Report today. It's counting on a few more minutes. I do have a couple of topics in
Please no.
reserve.
Paulie, we cannot have him going to his topics.
I don't know if you want to queue up
the Lakers.
Things Ben likes, or right said Ben, or anything.
Need some,
but
we missed some things that Ben likes. It's been a while.
It has been a while. We have a couple minutes before we can get to that as well. One story we didn't get to. The reports of a new potential $5 billion global basketball league. Maverick Carter, who's LeBron James' longtime business partner / agent, is one of the advisors now to this new league, which, we've seen football try to go global. We've seen, it hasn't really worked out well for other sports. I would think baseball or basketball is got to be somewhat concerned because so many of the stars are from other countries that there will be something appealing. If the money is there to play in a major international league instead of the NBA, that the NBA could lose some of its top talent. And right now the idea is to have 6 men's and 6 women's teams playing in like this international super type league. And they're looking to Saudi Arabia to invest it, as everyone is.
So it's live. It's basketball live.
It's kind of like basketball live, yes. But again,
are we going to get like a 46-year-old LeBron James over playing over there?
I don't think he's been reportedly interested, even though it's Maverick Carter. I don't think LeBron's in it. This might be Maverick's own deal. But I would think that for a lot of the European players and guys now, coming from Africa and other countries, that an international league is going to hold a bit of an appeal.
Yeah, no doubt.
To everyone.
Well, and again, if you start money whipping people like you do, if you're the LA Dodgers or if you're Live Golf, yeah, you're going to get some people. That's it. I mean, never in a billion years did I think that I'd look over at Live Golf and see John Rahm over there, and he's like, sorry, it's life-changing. And it absolutely happened. So, yeah, you could absolutely see a star from college going, sorry, NBA, I'm not going to the Memphis Grizzlies.
I think it'll be more like the Richachets and Wembys of the world, though, who just never make it over here.
Maybe
that
not.
Might be the concern for the NBA, losing some of the pipeline of foreign talent that they have built over the last few years.
It's great.
You're always going to want to test yourself against the best. That's what the NBA has right now. But
ask Roki Sasaki.
I don't know. We'll see if they can hold on to it. If there truly is a
now I'm in my taking shots
at
now I'm in my taking shots at Roki Sasaki phase. I moved on.
It's not
quick.
even official.
It's not even official yet, and I'm already in my taking shots phase.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised that 4 hours, because we heard the Roki Sasaki news right before we came on the air that the Padres were moving on to sign some of their other international prospects. A clear sign that they're out in the Roki Sasaki sweepstakes, but hasn't really been any, there's certainly been no official word from anybody in the last 4 hours.
No.
Haven't heard from Roki's camp. Haven't heard from the Padres, Dodgers. The Blue Jays have been the only one that have made any noise by making a trade to acquire $2 million more in international cap space, which they can throw at Roki Sasaki. Doesn't mean they've landed him, but they can certainly show him that they are serious about increasing their offer if that's, if they feel like they're right at the finish line. But there's been nothing official at all over these last 4 hours.
But again, as you reported, earlier, and we talked about the tweet, the international players have prepared to sign and are signing with the San Diego Padres for, a couple of $1 million here and there. Obviously, you're not going to do that. You're not going to tell that reporter that you're signing with the Padres today if the Padres are still, in fact, in on Roki Sasaki. I'm sure Jeff Passan is doing his due diligence as we speak right now. May not be getting any word back.
He only posts when it's
done. When it's official. So there's not going to be any more speculation. And
but you got Annie and Elston and Gwen and Chris to keep you updated.
They'll be
rest
watching
of the, day for
the
sure.
Twitter feed as well.
And we will talk to you again on Tuesday morning. Before we go, first time this year, things Ben likes.
I like the tanginess of the cranberry. I like reflecting. I like old-time rock and roll, too. I do. I like NIL. I like my standard, very uninteresting haircut. I do like hearing people talk about how well it's going for the Padres. I like numbers. Oh, I like the bits. I like to be educational. I like when I get up, have a glass of cranberry-juiced cocktail. I like Adam Major. I do like butterscotch. I like your tweets a lot. I still like this deal. I like to live my life after another famous Benjamin Button. I like when the Padres take 2 of 3 from the Dodgers. I would have liked to have tried something else. I like Darren. I've always liked Darren. I like watching LeBron and Anthony Davis. Sex by the fire at night, that's what I like. I like Jake Cronenworth. The last couple of days, I've really liked his swings. I do like horses. I like the Padres lineup. I like when things just flow perfectly. But I like Indian food. I just like a good, honest answer. I've liked what I've seen from Donovan Solano so far. I like that idea. I like 18 games in 18 days. I like where the Padres are. I like what we want as a team.
I do
all
too.
of us together. I like to picture people actually in a recording studio. I like the way the Padres play baseball. What I like is the variety of the wins.
Yeah.
I liked everything about this week.
Did you? I did not.
Remember, some of these were recorded, previously recorded segments of Things Ben Likes.
I like the Padres lineup.
We got some reruns going on here.
It's going to sound different next year.
Things Ben hates.
I love it.
Things that make Ben sad.
Don't ever change. Please don't. And I know you won't. I
don't do a lot of change. I got a new haircut this week. My standard uninteresting haircut has been slightly upgraded.
That's something to hang your hat on, literally.
Some growth, yes.
Literally. They asked me yesterday, Jake and John, about your haircut. I said he looks fantastic.
Hey, real quick, last time we are going to be out at Fantasy Camp next week. If you are a Padres fan listening in, be with us all next week. You're going to hear some amazing stories from so many different Padres alumni and
we'll have some
legends. It's going to be a great
We'll make
week.
you feel better a little bit. All right, Annie and Elston are coming up next. You guys have a safe drive to Arizona. I'll see you on Monday. For Paulie and Woods, I'm Ben. Have a great weekend. Rest of your Friday from all of us here at 97.3 The Fan. So long.